Hey there, citizens of Jakarta. My name is Freak, and I like to pull open my eyelids when no one's looking. Joining me today are my usual cohorts, Kevin, who will reveal a hitherto unrevealed fetish in this very episode, and Saradin, who punches first and asks questions later. And together, we're going to find out exactly how many mini fridges we can stuff into a regular-sized fridge. Welcome to the Bakagaijinshow.
That's a very good question. How many mini fridges can you shove into a regular-sized fridge? Like, I don't know, 2? 3 maybe? Depends
Well,
on...
I'm thinking about my super tiny mini fridge, and I'm thinking I could probably shove a dozen into a regular sized fridge.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it depends on, like, what size the mini fridge is, because if it's, like, a very small one where it's, like, it's designed to hold, like, maybe, like, 6 to 8 drinks, then, like, yeah, you can shove a few in there.
Oh, yeah, no, this one's tiny. It holds, like, 6, but you have to, like, shove 2 of them, like, horizontally on top.
Oh, it's one of those. Okay.
Yeah. So this tiny one, I could easily, like, I think it would even fit in one of, like, the side drawer compartments of a fridge. So.
Yeah. I just looked up mini fridges on Amazon, and I'm looking at, like, basically the exact model you have right now.
Yeah, I got mine at a hotel liquidation outfit. So mine used to be like one of those cheap mini fridges that was in like that are super durable and robust, but they cost but because it's a liquidation outlet, it cost me like $20.
Nice.
Oh, you got one of those mini fridges that's featured in Home Alone 2?
Yeah, basically those. Yeah, basically those. Yeah, everybody's like, I want a Red Bull fridge, and I'm like, aren't those like a couple $100? Like, I just paid $20, and I've been perfectly happy with mine for like 5 years. And if it breaks, I'll put it on the curb. Somebody will steal it or use it for scrap, or it'll get picked up by bulky waste, and I'll go buy another one for $20, and it'll last me another 5 years. Like,
yeah,
like hotel liquidators, man, best fucking resource you could possibly have if you need furniture.
Writing that down. Down.
Yeah.
You just have to remember that if you buy a mattress from there, remember that at least 300 different people have had sex on it. So...
Yeah. That's the
For
unfortunate
some people,
part.
that might be the appeal.
True.
It takes all kinds to make the world.
Fucking shut up. It's fucking weird. It's fucking weird. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Think of all the bodies have laid here. Each
sweat.
one has left their scent.
Jesus Christ.
You're making it really weird right now, Zeke. I gotta be real with you.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone with a Red Bull fridge that wasn't sponsored by Red Bull. Is that not the only way you can get those?
It might be.
Could be.
Curiouser and curiouser.
We gotta expand, Ken. We gotta get popular quick because I really want a Red Bull fridge. I don't even like Red Bull. I just want the prestige that comes with having a sponsored Red Bull fridge.
See, I can get the Red Bull and you can get the fridge.
We can negotiate.
Yes, clearly.
Yeah. Of course, this would also require us to switch to a camera format so people could actually see the fridge.
Yeah, that's a good
Because otherwise,
point,
we'll get a bunch of fucking emails going like, I don't think Zeke actually owns the Red Bull fridge.
Where's the fridge, Zeke? Where's the giant man's league?
Give us a fridge reveal.
Fucking bakagaijinshow fridge reveal. Yeah, that's what the people are really looking forward to. The fucking bakagaijinshow Red Bull fridge reveal. One day.
And we can do that thing YouTubers do where they make a totally benign action like a fucking Patreon stretch goal or something.
Yep.
You know. When did the what's the word I'm looking for?
My refrigerator.
The glamorization of the face reveal come from? It's a weird cultural thing if you stop to think about it.
A bit. I'm not sure where that started. It happened before the VTuber boom. So
yeah, obviously, as most things in life did.
Shut up.
In human history. Hey, you heard of this crazy new invention called the wheel?
That'll never catch on.
It's gonna make it's gonna make pushing shit up a hill way easier.
No, these square slabs that we have right now, perfectly usable. Perfectly usable.
I don't I don't think that was the transition. I don't think they went from square slabs to wheels. I think they just carried them like with their arms.
That is the joke.
Although
that's the
I
joke.
will admit the idea of iterating on clearly, obviously stupid, inefficient designs before getting to the wheel is very funny.
I mean, that's how Elon Musk thinks everything works. So.
Yeah, cartoon logic. It's like
Yep.
I can see it now. The fucking I was gonna say on the Flintstones, but the Flintstones already had wheels. Wow,
They
so
did.
progressive.
They did.
Mm-hmm. So progressive.
But they did not have engines. Everything was still foot powered.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Foot
when we invented the wheel, we didn't have
powered or
engines
literally
either.
just animals. Animal labor.
I mean, yeah, but that's how it worked in real life too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not explicitly car shaped, but you know, same basic principle of being pushed by something. But it requires less energy expenditure, and the time investment is more efficient.
Reminds me of a joke from Robot Chicken. Fucking Wilma and Betty are just like walking in the house, and Wilma just offhandedly is like, "So I bring the tampons up to the counter," and he says, "You know those are rocks, right?" And I said, "Of course it's a rock. Everything is a rock."
Yeah. This is why people tune in, by the way, to hear us explain the functional benefits of the wheel. Just in case you didn't know.
Yeah, just in case you know, the wheel, fucking amazing.
I mean,
Incredible piece of technology.
Look, if there's anything Zoomers that can't operate File Explorer have taught me, it's that you can't take anything for granted.
Oh, God.
Absolutely.
Imagine not knowing how to run fucking File Explorer on your Windows PC.
So,
What
you know,
the
before
hell
you
is
send
this?
your angry emails about how we wasted your time explaining the obvious benefits of the wheel, just keep in mind, sometimes it's good to you know, keep history in your back pocket, you know?
Yeah, because you don't know when some dumbass is going to be like, "Oh, hey, how do you do this incredibly simple thing that everybody in your fucking..."
I have barrels and barrels of wheat I need to move up a hill, but it is slow and arduous by hand. Oh, what could aid in this process? Introducing the wheel.
And now we use it to pick movies on movie night. Isn't it a wonderful invention?
The evolution.
Yes, I see what you did there. I thought you were referring to when TV remotes tried to use like the
dials,
the iPod radial dial menu.
Yeah.
That brief window when that was popular.
You know, during that period, they could have actually brought back "Don't touch that dial" and it would have worked.
Missed opportunity.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I would love to hand a Zoomer an old iPod and say, operate this fucking dial wheel. Although I realize now that we are rapidly turning into those videos of boomers being like, here's a rotary phone, teenager. How do you operate this?
Oh no. We're starting to understand.
Oh no.
Oh no. This is the worst outcome possible.
Yeah, one day it's going to be unironic too.
Oh no.
I remember when I was it, then I didn't know what it was. Now what's it is new and scary, and it'll happen to you.
Amazing that, like, you and I have not watched very much Simpsons, but thanks to internet pop cultural osmosis, we know way more about the Simpsons than we would normally.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you know. That goes for a lot of things, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's the age of experiencing media vicariously through memes.
There are so many anime that I'm pretty sure I have just watched entirely through memes at this point.
Sure.
There's at least a couple of them.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but you do you, man.
It happens every now and then.
Sure. Could you provide examples for scientific analysis?
Kaguya-sama?
I don't think you've actually.
I mean,
seen
if you
it.
watched one joke in that show, you've watched them all. So, I mean, it doesn't take very long to get through Kaguya-sama through memes.
I would like to disagree, but I don't want to be here for the next hour about it.
That's fair.
It's complicated.
Kevin, what have you been doing this week?
What have I been doing this week? Well, last night I watched Punch Drunk Love for the first time.
Oh, yeah?
Pretty good movie.
Were you drunk and or in love during this experience?
Yeah, I was drinking beer, so, I was one of those things.
You know, the World Health Organization says that no level of alcohol is healthy.
Yep, I'm just gonna add another notch to the list of things you can make fun of me for. Like,
I've got a little group on my side. You might just a little fucking band of people you might have heard of called the World Health Organization.
You probably never heard of them. They're very underground.
Yeah, quite the indie scene, honestly.
Yeah, for real.
No, Punch Drunk Love is a very, very good movie. I might put that on on the list for movie night movies. That's a pretty good time.
You might. You should flip a coin to decide whether you will attempt to do that, and then flip a coin for whether or not you will.
I mean, I literally have a penny right here, so I can do that.
Why do you have a penny?
I don't know. I just have a couple of pennies just
He's
sitting
poor.
here.
You can't just ask somebody why they have a penny. He's poor. Jesus. I know you're not one for cultural sensitivity, man, but Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, Zeke! You can't just ask somebody why they're poor.
Fine, flip thy penny farthing or whatever.
Will I or will I not? Fuck! Okay, I dropped that one. Will I or will I not?
Now he's even poorer.
You didn't
Now
call
he's
heads or
like
tails
10%.
first.
Now he's like 10% poorer. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Okay, heads are.
Fuck.
Will I or will I not? Heads says yes, tails says no.
Okay.
No.
Okay, well, that settles that.
Damn it.
Once again, in a capitalist society, the power of a coin decides everything.
Yep, indeed. Also, this is an audio show, so I appreciate your honesty in this matter. You could have easily just lied about it.
It's a parable of our time.
There's honest Kevin.
Yep.
A dollar shorter and a day has happened.
Yeah, it's been a while since I flipped a damn coin, so like I literally
It's been a while.
I literally just
Since
flinged it
I've
into the
seen
corner
your
of the room.
Yep.
No, yeah, I watched Punch Drunk Love. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I played some Hi-Fi Rush because I have Game Pass.
Xbox Game Pass.
I got Game Pass Ultimate. Very, very fun game. Very fun game.
Yeah.
The new Pretty Cure season actually started, and episode 1 of that premiered last Saturday. Episode 2 premieres tonight. Main character very cute. Main character very pretty.
Tonight?
I like her.
Party on the rooftop, top of the world tonight. Dance on top of the Hollywood sign.
Tonight. But yeah,
I don't know if you'll make it, but watch how good you'll fake it.
But yeah, main character very cute, very pretty. I like her.
That was for my Hot Shell Ray fans out there.
Episode 1 was a ton of fucking fun, but the weirdest part was the main character. Oh, God, it was a really good episode. The only part that was weird was when the villain farted in the main character's mouth for some fucking reason. I don't know why.
Well, clearly because he's a villain, or he or she or they are villain.
He.
Yeah.
It was just a very weird moment.
That sounds like a villainous action.
It was just very.
Although muddying the waters is the fact that Adam Sandler did it in Click, but then again, his boss was a dick, so
Okay, in that one, justified.
Makes perfect sense.
That was a fun scene. He pauses time and then like violently farts in his boss's mouth. And then when he resumes time, it's like, oh, why do I taste shit? Kevin, I click to the list.
I will absolutely add Click to the list. Give me just a second. Movie. No, yes, I'm doing it live. I'm the guy in the chair.
Yep. No, I appreciate that.
It is me. All right. click. There we go.
So is that all? Is that all? Can we progress?
Yes, that is all.
Have we
Okay.
ever progressed on this fucking channel? Like, have we ever progressed?
Yeah. I mean, I started with a laptop mic, so
Speaking of movie night, we watched Paul.
we did.
That is a very fun
good.
movie. That's a good movie.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, Paul is a good movie.
Just for clarification, not the three-eyed monkey at the end of the Jimmy Neutron episodes. Not that Paul.
Yes, very, very different Paul, though also an alien.
I mean, we're aliens to him, so
True.
the state of mind.
No,
I like how
Paul
the
is-
trees were DNA stands.
Paul was a very fun movie, very clever.
Yeah.
Has a lot more, like, heart and sentimentality than you would expect from an alien road trip buddy comedy starring Seth Rogen as the alien.
Yeah. But it's fun, and it's good.
Oh, absolutely.
I saw that in the theater and not since, so that was good to go back to.
Yeah. It was a great time, as expected, of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, who wrote the movie.
Oh, yeah.
They were the reason why I had an interest in the movie in the first place, and, well,
Why aren't they making movies anymore? That's my question.
Yeah, it's a dead art. Nobody's making movies anymore.
they're not making movies,
Why are
they're only making
specifically-
content!
Why are specifically Simon Pegg and Nick Frost not making movies anymore?
Exactly.
Yeah. That was more my question.
So I also watched the first two Sword Art Online progressive movies. I saw the first one, like, literally the night that we, like, after the podcast last week. And I watched the second movie in theaters the day after. These movies are kind of weird.
Wait. Hold up. What the fuck? Hold on.
Oh.
They're making a slasher film?
That sounds awesome. I'm in.
Nick Frost and Simon Pegg are teaming up again, but instead of pairing up for another comedy, they're dipping into horror with the slasher Svelta.
Huh, interesting.
That sounds awesome. I'm in.
With the Paris production company Stolen Pictures, Svelta will finally come to life with the help of new multi-platform studio Wayward Entertainment. Written by Frost, the film will focus on a family taking a nice little summer vacation at the titular remote island. Unfortunately for them, a serial killer happens to be on the loose, and the locals apparently don't have much interest in helping the family survive. Oops.
Oops.
Oopsies.
I'm gonna look into that. That was an article from like 2021, so let's see here. You can keep talking. I'm just looking at that.
Yeah, but watch the first two Sword Art Online progressive movies. First movie is really good.
You mean the only two that exist at this time?
I mean,
Yes.
Yes.
There's going to be more.
yes,
That was-
yeah.
I know, but that was a weird way to phrase that.
What a fucking retarded thing to say. Jesus Christ.
I know. That's what I'm telling him.
No, we're saying that's you.
No, what you said was dumb. There's only two that
No,
exist.
what you said it was dumb because because you missed the obvious implication.
These obviously aren't going to be the only ones. I'm
What if
specifying
A1
that.
Pictures is struck by a fucking meteor tomorrow and they stop making them? Then
Well-
they will be the only two.
Well, then
I mean,
we don't know that yet.
It fucking didn't stop. It didn't fucking stop Kyoani, did it? They lost like half their fucking people in a fucking arson.
Yeah,
Didn't stop them.
yeah.
Just saying, something could happen. The world could end tomorrow.
Anyway.
We don't know.
Look, somebody will not be at work that day. The day that they fucking decide, the day that a meteor crashes on their fucking studio,
Yes,
and that
he
one
alone
guy
will take up the mantle.
he will single-handedly hire new animators.
Yeah,
he'll
straight
take-
out, yeah,
Straight out of college,
Oh, okay.
and they will finish the fucking film.
Yeah, it'll be.
God damn, there's a lot of money to be made.
It'll be a fucking school of rock bullshit where he has to teach them to be their best selves.
Can we get a movie about that? No.
Yeah, wait, seriously.
How do I reach these animators?
So yeah, the first Progressive movie is really, really good. I like that one a lot. It's interesting seeing like kind of the progression of Asuna's character, how she actually got into playing video games, Sword Online. Though someone on Twitter informed me that Mito, her friend, is completely anime original, which I did not know.
Yeah, I don't. These movies are weird to me.
So now there's an additional continuity. You were complaining that there were like 4 continuities of Ironclad. Now there's a 5th.
Yeah,
Because there's like
Yeah,
the original continuity, and then there's progressive, and then there's the game continuity.
Mhm.
So I guess 3, and now there's the progressive movie continuity,
Which
has
is
a
completely
random
different from the
character
novels.
in it.
I don't fucking understand why they did. Like, I don't understand why the fuck they didn't just adapt the novels as they were. They're well liked.
I don't know why either. It's
Yeah,
just,
that's my question with a lot of their adaptation choices. Like, they skipped the whole tournament arc from Alicization, which apparently was one of people's favorite arcs, and they just
Yeah.
By the way, we had a tournament off screen, and
Yeah.
it was like everybody just fucking like what?
Yeah, Kawahara explained that on Twitter that like an ideal Alicization adaptation would take 5 cores, but they only got money for 4, so it was a painful cut that he had to make.
Damn. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, the entire Zakaria section is just cut out of the anime.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, like when you told me that they skipped a tournament arc and made it a montage, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it's like, like half an episode. No, 30 seconds. You get 30 seconds of that.
Yep.
And they just blaze through it.
Oh yeah, no, they Rin-2'd that bitch.
Oh, oh, what? They did.
Yep. Shout out to everyone who understood what I mean. What I meant by that.
Oh, the physical pain. But see, if you didn't tell me that was supposed to be an entire fucking route in the original visual novel, I never would have known. So thank you.
Yeah. No problem.
But no, yeah. Yeah, the first Progressive movie is actually really good, ignoring the glaring continuity problems that it
If you
introduces.
take it as its own thing, sure.
Yeah. It is also nice to see the floor 1 boss fight with very nice theatrical quality animation. It's very, very good.
Did they play coffee soda, toffee pasta?
Don't think they did, no.
Well, how am I supposed to get hype without my coffee soda toffee pasta?
Well, they played both Asuna's theme and Kirito's theme this time.
Oh, whoa.
Amazing.
It's like they're in the movie or something.
I know, right? Anyway, but no, yeah, it was a nice way to like re-experience that with like new theatrical animation, and also get like new insight into maybe kind of sort of what Asuna was probably going through before the events of the show. I don't fucking know.
You could interpret it that way, sure.
That said, the second movie it's fine.
Yeah.
It drags. The pacing of that movie isn't very good.
Yeah, the first half of that movie is definitely a bit of a drag.
Yeah, and it also just doesn't feel like it's very well focused, because like it feels like it's trying to focus on it's focusing on like 3 different things all at the same time. It's still trying to continue Asuna's character development. It's still it's trying to introduce a lot of these new elements that are completely original to the movie. It's like 4 elements. It's got like a fucking character from the games, Argo, who's just here now.
Argo was in the novels too, but it was very brief.
Yeah. Mike
I've
explained as much.
I've actually found the gradual, because the funny thing to me is that when they did the first anime, Argo was completely nondescript because she was a complete bit character in that first novel.
Yeah.
But over time through Gameverse and expanded whatever, and now the progressive, I believe she's also in the progressive novels.
She
with
is,
the same
yeah.
design, with the same redesign, but the movie plays that up. Obviously, I find that interesting that in our perpetual quest to retell Aincrad in as many fucking ways as possible, we have now expanded this bit character into actual character. That's very funny to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Argo was the only time she appears in the original Aincrad arc that I'm aware of, having read the books and everything else, is literally, I don't even think she's given a name. Is that
I think she was given her name in the credits of the anime, but not in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And was literally when she told Kirito about the Nicholas arc, or the Nicholas event.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like very brief, almost.
Which, as we all know, worked out great.
Right.
It's
a fucking
Merry
hat.
Christmas, bitch.
Fucking hat.
Sorry. That episode hurts me.
Merry Christmas.
I will never listen to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer ever again. Yeah, I pointed out, like, there is an entire, like, mock fight between Asuna and Argo in the second Progressive movie. That, like, it's fun, and it gives Argo some more characterization, but, like, it kind of doesn't amount to a whole lot. And it just kind of ends up an excuse to have the two characters talk for a bit. And someone informed me on Twitter, I'll quote them directly, "This movie adapted Volume 4, which is one of the best, but due to the time and the incorporation of Mito as an anime original character, which threw me entirely, that does not appear in the novel, some things are lost. In the novel, that quote-unquote fight between Asuna and Argo is a moment where Argo proves to be very capable as a solo player, and also teaches Asuna a trick that will be useful in Floor 6. That was not made clear in the movie.
Yeah, these Progressive movies just confuse me. They confound me.
Yeah, when they get to fucking Floor 6 in the next fucking movie, it's gonna be weird.
Because it's fucking... I get why they decided to adapt Progressive, because they want to have anime content and make more money while Kawahara writes the Unital Ring arc. But, like... And also his 4 other fucking book series, because it's Kawahara and he can't fucking help himself.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a while. But, like, why did they do it like this?
I have no idea. Honestly, I'm starting to understand your frustration with this.
Yeah, like, I'll watch them at some point, because what the fuck else am I doing with my life? But, like, it's like... Yeah, I don't get why they would do it. I was not a huge fan of Progressive existing in the first place. But I acknowledge there's merit to those novels.
Yeah.
But like this shit where you're not even like adapting them faithfully is like, what are we even doing anymore? It's like now we're just fucking seeing full screen SAO fan fiction.
We kind of are.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I've always treated the games as, just SAO fan fiction.
Yeah, but at least the games have their own like unified continuity and identity to them.
Yeah, like that is a big benefit of the games, is that they're not trying to incorporate themselves into the original like anime or novel continuity. They are their own thing.
Yeah, I think what bothers me about the Progressive movies is that they sell themselves as adaptations of Progressive, and they're kind of not.
They
really.
kind of are, but they kind of aren't at the same time.
Yeah, and Progressive as a thing that exists was already something I was very shaky on, and that's mostly just because, Kawahara, you have so many projects. Did you really need to do this? You know,
it's like, what? He's writing Excel World. He's writing Sword Art Online. He's writing the fucking
the Isolator.
The Isolator. And now he's writing Progressive.
And he just launched a new series called Demon Crest.
It's like a fifth. Slow down, dude.
That's the thing. People always on Reddit always say Kawahara is so slow. He's not slow. He just has his effort is just spread between so many fucking things. That like he feels that way. So any given one of his series are lucky to see a volume a year.
Yeah.
If that, because he's got so many to bounce between.
Yeah, it's...
I wish he would have finished at least one of his fucking series before starting Demon Crest.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I wish he would have at least committed to finishing mainline SAO or something, which is probably the closest to being finished.
Yeah, finish
before starting a new thing.
Yeah, just finish Urinal Ring and then go to that. Jeez.
Finish what's on your plate before you go back to the buffet table, man.
Now, Kawahara, you need to finish everything on your plate before
if you don't
have
finish your meats, you can't have any pudding.
Right.
Fucking talking down to Kawahara like for his mom.
Okay, it's okay. When I go to Japan in a couple weeks, I'll make sure to run into him, and then I'll just scream, "You can't finish it! You can't have your pudding till you finish your meats!" And then I'll run away, and then he'll be extremely confused.
He's just very confused. It's like,
why did that man just scream English at me?
Just like, wakarimasen!
Anyway,
I'll just show up in a Skeletor costume and be like, you can't have your pudding until you finish your meats. Until next time.
Until next time, He-Man.
Just walks away.
I'll get you next time, Reki Kawahara.
Literally. He'll be the most confused man alive. Which means my mission is absolutely completed.
You will become the most baffling human being on the planet one of these days.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that
Anyway,
one weird fucking ginger American.
Anyway, let's keep going through what we've been doing because we have a long email to get to.
Yeah. That's more or less what I'm up to.
Cool. Put a bow on that.
Yep.
Is there anything worthwhile?
Well, I know we were all planning on going to Colossal Con, but then Hololive decided to announce a fucking what is probably going to end up being a American Expo concert series and meet and greet series in LA this year, which is going to happen dangerously close to Colossal Con. So I'm going to do my damnedest, but I might have to dip from the Colossal Con this year because I wasn't able to get tickets to the Fourth Fest concert because those are fucking unicorns.
Yeah.
But this would stand a much better chance of being able to go. And America doesn't have the same convention restrictions. Like, obviously, there's only so many seats in the concert, so that's still going to be a shit show. That's still going to be a lottery shit show.
Yeah.
But America does not have the same restrictions as Japan does for COVID. And so what will probably be the case is that the expo is just when you buy a ticket, you can come. Also, I'm pretty sure almost every venue in LA they could choose is bigger than like even the Masahari Mesa, which is where they host Fourth Fest. Much bigger. So they should not have an issue with capacity whatsoever. So I should at least try to go for the expo and a chance at a meet and greet. But I definitely want to try for the concert series. Also, I've never been to LA, so it's a good chance. I've been to Colossal Con like 3 times. But if I have to choose whether between a $2,000 or like a $1,500 trip to Colossal Con, which is what it's probably going to end up being for me, because I like to buy a lot of bullshit, and we're also going to Cedar Point, and spending $2,000 to go to fucking LA for half a week to go do something a little bit more unique and probably won't be around forever, then I'd rather do that thing. So we'll have to see how that plays out. I'm going to do my damnedest to make it to everything this year. But then I've also got Dokumi right after that, and that's a $3,000 trip easily. So right at the end of the summer. So so things just got really complicated with me recently, as far as like what trips I'm going to end up making.
Right.
As far as Japan goes, I've got my plane ticket and my hotel already booked, so I'm good to go. I'll be leaving I'll be leaving in the middle of March, and then coming back on the 24th. And so I'll be going to that to just hang around Japan for about 10 days. And I got a reasonably cheap hotel. It was around $100 a night. Which really isn't that. It was around about $100 a night. So about $1,000.
In like what, Tokyo?
Yeah, in Tokyo.
But that's actually very good. Yeah.
Is it one
Hotel
of those, like,
price-
is it
hotel
one of those, like,
price-
hubby hotels?
No. Those are about $60 a night.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sleep in a cubby hole because apparently those are great if you're stopping in the city for a couple days for a business meeting, or whatever. But they're not exactly comfortable for like a long.
They're also not really white person sized.
No, I would have to curl up a lot.
Yeah.
So, or my feet would hang out over the edge, and it would be very awkward. So I'm just like not. I'm not going to bother with the cubby with that kind of thing.
Yeah. No,
I did find a hotel for about $100 a night though. Apparently hotel prices even during Sakura season, which is exactly when they decided to host this shit. So great fucking job.
Lovely.
Even hotel prices even around this time of year are actually hotel prices recently have been dropping, and the value of the Japanese significantly. It's like 70 yen to every. It's like
the yen is weak.
The yen is weak right
extremely
now. Yeah.
weak.
Oh,
It's
cool.
extremely weak right now.
Yeah,
it's no longer about 100 yen for $1. It's more like
76.
70 cents for 100 yen.
Damn.
Yep.
So
I'm thinking of ways to abuse that, but I can't think of anything.
I mean, if you want to import literally anything from Japan right now, now is the time.
now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
So, well, no, importing not so much because of international shipping fees have gone up because of COVID. You're going to end up paying way more for shipping, so it ends up overcompensating.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But if you're going to go to Japan, now's the best time to do it because is worth 30% more than it used
and it's almost Sakura season.
If you're going to Japan or supporting people on Pixiv Fanbox, now is the time.
Yeah, we're gonna be exactly. I've never felt better about my Deco subscription. That dude nasty. Anyway.
Oh, Deco's on a nasty motherfucker.
Yeah, Deco is a fucking nasty piece of shit.
But we love him.
Yes, we do. He needs to do more chicken. Anyway. But
stuff the chicken.
Stop! Stop! Stop it! Jesus. No, but I've already made plans. I'm gonna be going to Nagashima Spa Land, which is an amusement park there on the 23rd, the day before I leave. On the 20th, I'm going with a huge group of like 20 people to Enoshima, which is an island there. We're gonna go see the shrine, get some food, see the caves, check out the coastline, that kind of thing. And then we're going to be hosting two watch parties for the concert on Saturday and Sunday in Akiba. So I'll probably just spend both of those days in Akihabara while I wait for the venues to open up. We're going to rent out a couple of karaoke rooms, which apparently you can use those TVs for more than one thing. You don't have to just play karaoke on them. You can just rent them out for like one, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
So that's what we're going to do. We're all going to get together, order food, and then watch the concert from there. Since since a lot of us weren't able to get tickets. Again, fucking unicorns. But so Japan trip is looking good. That's going to happen 14th. I'll arrive later in the day on the 14th. 16-hour flights to and fro. Can't fucking. But I was able to reserve window seats the whole time, unlike my trip to fucking Germany, which was 16 hours, and I was stuck in the middle of two very angry Indian women who didn't like the fact that a giant white guy was in them. So, you know what? I'm going to be able to sleep comfy on this flight, so that's good.
Yay!
So that's it.
So this is already going to be better. And thankfully I know enough hiragana, katakana to and stuff. I may not know what they say, but I can at least sound them out. So, so it should make things a little bit easier on my travel. And then if there's always Google, what is it? Google Spyglass or whatever it is, the thing that'll auto translate.
Yeah.
Things for just by putting it in your camera. So I'll have that, and of course a large charger with me. They highly recommend getting a portable Wi-Fi unit instead of trying to use 3G there, because Tokyo is so densely fucking populated. So I'm gonna have to pick up one of those before I go. But yeah, so I got Japan trip, and then potentially LA trip later this year, and then also potentially Colossal, and then also Dokkan.
Yeah. Neat.
So that's basically all I'm looking forward to in it.
Yeah.
Like Cure update, and I also downloaded Metroid remake or remaster.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's fucking sick so far. They added I turned it on. They added a casual mode.
Did they?
They did not have an easy mode. There was full and there was hard mode. And hard mode is hard, and normal mode can sometimes be hard. So the casual mode is really good for people first getting into the franchise.
Oh
I've
damn.
actually been thinking about that, and I think it's a good thing.
I think Dread added that in a patch.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. Yes, they did, and there's also a lot of people. I think it's a good thing for kind of older games because sometimes they can be clunky for like a new, like Metroid Prime does not have an orthodox control scheme. Now they added one for this game, but the game is designed from the ground up to fit the original control scheme. So some things can be a little bit wonky at times and clunky. And also older games just tend to be a little bit harder in general than most modern games. So, you know, to attract Zoomers who need their hands held everywhere, or for people who just don't want a hardcore challenge. It's
if it means we get more Metroid, it's fine.
I mean, that's exactly how I feel. Just make sure you always include a normal and a hard mode so that the rest of us can be happy with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm guessing after I beat the campaign the first, I will unlock.
As Sakamoto still breathes, there will always be a hard mode.
Yeah, which is the real way to play Metroid. But because otherwise, after like the halfway point, the game is just ridiculously easy on normal.
Dread gets very hard towards the end.
Yes, Dread is extreme. Dude, I watched Sana play through Dread. Holy shit, that game is ridiculous.
Ooh.
That final boss is redonkulous.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, good. It's an adequate challenge.
Oh, yeah, I remember when you were, like, going through Metroid Dread, you were fucking pissed off at the final boss.
Fucking cheap shit.
Yep, I remember you just, like, really heavily complaining about that. It took you, I think it took you, 2 days to get through that.
Narratively, it's great. It's the fucking fight sucks.
Oh, yeah.
At least I could say it's really hard, but at least I could say it's a good boss fight. Unlike Doom Eternal, which I fucking hate the final boss of Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
It's just a poorly designed shit show.
I am happy that the Metroid series is getting this massive renaissance now.
Yeah, I told you last night that there's now an official Metroid franchise portal on Nintendo's main website, which wasn't there before.
Yeah, because you can play more Metroid games on Switch than you can on any other platform. I think the second most is probably the Wii, but or the Wii U or something, but that's about it. Because you can play Metroid Prime, Metroid Dread, Metroid 1 and 2, Super Metroid, and in a few months they're gonna add Metroid Fusion. So
well, the Metroidvania genre, especially in the indie scene, has had a massive resurgence recently.
It has. True.
So it makes perfect sense that Nintendo is deciding to finally capitalize on that.
I mean, it's the perfect time to bring back Metroid. Hey, if you like all these games that are based on Metroid.
I feel like that's what the higher ups might be thinking. The weird thing is that in an interview, Sakamoto seemed weirdly dismissive of the Metroidvania resurgence. He's like, "Yeah, I've seen it." He was literally just like, "Yeah, I know, it's there."
I've heard through the grapevine.
I'm like, damn, dude. Okay.
Are you aware of this? Yes.
It's like, yeah, I'm aware people are trying to measure up.
Yep.
It kind of had that vibe to it, where it's just like, yeah, we've spawned some imitators.
Between us and Castlevania, we spawned a whole lot of imitators. Good imitators. Some of them are excellent. I fucking love Blasphemy. God, that game's good. Even though some people debate whether or not it's a true Metroid game, but I disagree. I think it's absolutely.
I didn't get far enough to have an opinion on that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Zeke is a ride or die in Hollow Knight.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Anyway, is that it? My turn?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm done with everything.
Okay.
So, I haven't watched any animes this season, so nothing to talk about there.
Yeah, I've only been watching To Your Eternity and Danmachi and Nagatoro, but I haven't seen any Nagatoro since episode 2, so I gotta watch that.
Yeah, I caught up on all of Nagatoro, and it's worth it.
Wow, you want a medal?
It's good, man. It's good.
I'm sure it is. Yeah, no, I beat Cosmic Shake. That's on the curb now, and now I'm Season 3 of Overwatch 2 started, so I've been grinding away at that. And I've also gone back to playing the Dead Space remake. I'm still fairly early on in it. I'm in like chapter 3 or 4. So I'm probably gonna play more of that when we're done here.
We had a really good, like, solid CTF match last night. That was fun.
Oh yeah. No, you are playing again. You are
Yep.
Kevin.
Yep, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
Yep.
I'm
You should play
figuring.
without me sometimes and practice and give the matchmaker some data to work with.
Probably gonna do that tonight, actually.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So yeah, we've been doing that. Otherwise, not much else. I'm gonna try to get the Dead Space remake done before Atomic Heart comes out because that looks great, and I might get that. I haven't decided if I'm gonna get that on PC or PS5 yet. I'm going back and forth on that. And also I'll probably wait for reviews anyway. But yes, I'm gonna try to do that in the next 10 days. I think. Pretty sure. I'm also gonna keep playing Dread Templar when I get the chance. That's a good game. I'm gonna try to get some more writing done. But that's basically it. I do have a funny work story though.
Ooh, fun.
Well, I have two things. First of all, I had to tell. So a bit of a retcon, Kevin. I told you I was called off on Wednesday.
Oh.
Really, I kind of called off myself. So I had to tell the head chef about my sleep schedule issues, and he was understanding and everything. But today, not today, yesterday, he came up to me. He was like, "This dude is such a character." He leans into me. He's like, I've got a remedy for sleep problems. I'm like, oh, and he's like, yeah, wank one out and listen to Pink Floyd. I'm like, okay, thanks, man. Believe it or not, I'm almost 30. I have discovered masturbation. Thank you.
Wank one out and listen to Pink Floyd.
That's fucking hilarious. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's
Speaking of Pink Floyd, that's what I call my Willie. Anyway.
Oh, you might have that in common.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, what was the actual? Oh, right. The health inspector. There's a new health inspector in town.
The health inspector.
Yeah, there's a new health inspector in town, and I have never heard as much. What's the term for midget phobia? What's like the word for that?
Hold on, let me Google that real quick.
Like hatred / fear of midgets.
Achondroplasiophobia.
I'm not saying that. But
I have fear of small people!
I have never heard as much of that in my life as when they were bitching about the recent health inspector visit, because apparently there's a new health inspector. He's a midget, and he is way more strict than the last guy.
Oh dear.
So they had much to say about him, and probably the funniest thing to me is when the owner stormed through, and he started asking everyone if they had a cup. And I'm like, a cup? He's like, yeah, do you have like a cup? Because I'm gonna get everyone cups. And I'm like, why does everyone get cups? I usually just use the styrofoam cups. And he looks at me, and his entire face is almost red. He's like, that damned midget is taking our styrofoam cups. Because apparently, the midget health inspector does not like the fact. Well, okay, so he's not actually taking the styrofoam cups. The thing is, we store the styrofoam cups in sealed plastic in the bathroom, like in a bathroom closet.
Yeah.
And the health inspector did not like the fact that the cups were being stored literally like a foot away from the toilet.
Oh.
And we're like, well, okay, and to clarify, they are sealed in plastic.
Yeah.
And we do not unseal them until they are in the front. Like, we get them out, like, we just store them in the bathroom closet. So really, it's not that he said we couldn't have styrofoam cups. It's that he didn't like that we were storing them there. And I just tell the boss, why don't you just put them somewhere else? And he's like, I don't want to. I'm like, fair enough.
I don't
So now we
really
gotta
feel like it.
Now we gotta get rid of all our fucking styrofoam cups. I'm gonna send a picture in the lobby chat. Kevin, don't put this in the episode. I don't want people to dox me.
Okay,
but I'm just gonna show you exactly how we were storing the styrofoam cups. because I feel like I've had this thought in the back of my mind. It's like something probably gets to the styrofoam cups. I feel like this is not a safe place, a sanitary place to store styrofoam cups. So I'm gonna post that in lobby chat.
Yeah,
That's not good. That's not good.
Yeah,
that's not
no,
how you do it.
I can actually understand why the health inspector, kind of, ticked on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, that closet is actually a shower.
Oh,
it is a
Jesus.
It is. Yeah. So this place, I learn more about this restaurant's lore every fucking month. Yeah, this place, way back when, was once a World War II like shelter. It was like a bomb shelter. So this bathroom actually has like a shower built into it there, and what is now our cooler used to be like a shelter room.
Wow. Fucking wow.
Yeah. Yeah, if you actually, you can't see from the picture, but if you go in, if you like turn your head into that closet, you can actually see like the remnants of like a shower head installation or whatever.
Wow.
They just stuck some plywood in there to make shelving.
I mean, I guess that's one way to do it, but sweet Jesus.
Yeah. But anyway, no, we can't, we're not allowed to store styrofoam cups there anymore. And since he doesn't want to put them anywhere else, we just don't have styrofoam cups anymore.
Wow.
On the plus side, he's apparently just getting everyone a Gerpler or whatever.
I mean, hey, moving up in the world, upgrade.
Yeah, free cup.
Free cups. Free cups.
Free cup. Free cups. So that was funny. Lots of midget hate last night.
That is just a lot.
Yeah, I wish I was there for the visit because I would really like to see a health inspector all gussied up in his little suit and tie and his hat, being like, that won't work, and that won't work, and that's dirty, and you can't put styrofoam there. The stench from the bathroom could get on the styrofoam cup, and just watch the guy fume in the background the whole time as this fucking midget health inspector just casually infuriates him.
Just like you just see him like just vibrating in anger, just like.
Yep. But mostly, I just want to see a little tiny man in a suit. That's mostly what I want.
Yeah.
I don't mean to infantilize the midget population. I just think it's cute. You have to admit, small thing in suit equal cute. In fact, it rhymes even.
Oh, it do.
Yeah. You ever see photos of, like, dogs in suits? It's crazy.
I have. I love them. I love that. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Put dog in thing, instantly adorable.
Yeah, man. But if they wore pants, would they wear it like this or this?
Love that meme. It's a classic.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's bringing it back old school.
I actually think that meme was about horses, but yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it's the same principle in effect.
Yeah, I think it came because there's that one mimetic photo of a horse at a wedding where they put him in a suit.
Dude, imagine going to a tailor. It's like, okay, I need you to make a suit. Okay, who's it for? My horse.
I want to know who had to put the suit on the horse. Who signed up for that job?
God, I hope they got paid well because I don't think the horse probably enjoyed it very much.
I can't imagine trying to put clothes on a horse.
That has to be a clusterfuck.
Beyond the simplest shit of like tying a bandana on their neck or something.
Yeah.
Like fucking, how do you get them in a suit?
I don't know. How do you do that? Jeez. I feel like that's got to be like a whole team effort kind of thing. Because I'm not sure
they got to sedate the horse and then have like a crane system.
Yeah, because like I'm not sure if you know this, horses are angry motherfuckers.
They can be. Like, I just can't imagine. Now put that hoof through this hole without getting your fucking face torn off.
Yeah. Just fucking one clop right in your face and you're dead.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking to myself, what's the most dangerous animal to put a suit onto? Like, in your case, like the ostrich has to be pretty close. Right?
The ostrich has to be pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's
Bastard
like
bit me in the ass.
And he's probably still out there. as we discussed.
Yep. That is now an irrational fear that I have. Thank you. I needed a new one.
Walking down a dark alley, the light flickers on and off. You just see an ostrich.
It's like, oh god, it's back.
He's just
I
standing there,
remembered.
menacingly.
Yeah, when you mentioned that ostriches
I've come back for that booty.
Yeah, when you told me that ostriches can live to be like fucking 50 years old, I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
Just the dawning
He's still
realization.
out there. He remembers the taste of your flesh. He's coming for that Kevin booty. Oh, this gives me the energy to get out of bed in the morning.
You know what animals also like remember you and hold grudges? Fucking crows.
Oh, crows are bitches.
Yeah, crows have like the intelligence of like a toddler.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah.
So they're on par with dogs.
Corvids are very smart.
Yeah, so they're on par with like dogs, and they can. If you piss one of them off, they will not only make it their mission to make your life miserable by standing outside of your house and harassing you with constant calls and aggressive tendencies, but they can live up to like 25 years. So, and they do hold grudges. You want to know the worst ones though? Are magpies.
Oh yeah.
Magpies love to fucking poke for the eyes. They have sharp beaks. They will poke to the eyes. And they do absolutely hold grudges. There are people in Australia who have gone blind because of magpie. And they can't go down that road anymore because the magpies that live there will recognize their face.
Yep.
And attack them again.
This fucker!
Oi! This fucker! Get him! Fucking get him!
It's very funny. It's very funny, as if the Australian wildlife wasn't dangerous enough. Now they have memory.
Yeah, even the fucking birds will fuck. Even the fucking like non-carnivorous birds will fucking murder you for no reason.
I like how the spectrum of dangerous wildlife in Australia ranges from like drop bears who are dumb as bricks all the way to intelligent gangs of magpies. That Reddit post about how fucking stupid.
The real thing we
koalas
need to do is we need to have. You know what? Fuck Godzilla versus whatever dumb fucking monster of the week he fights. Let's have a movie where it's crows versus magpies. Okay.
Yeah.
And just see who can be the more petty of the bitch. Okay.
Oh,
Who can be the more petty bitch?
I would love to fucking just a movie about a paranoid Australian man being harassed by magpies.
Yep.
So you just want a remake of The Birds with that guy.
Well, remember the poem from Poe? It's a good thing he wasn't Australian because that would have ended a lot more tragically. Poe would have just had his eyes fucking plucked out. What's this Nevermore bullshit? That's rookie shit. Let me take his fucking eyes out.
Quoth the magpie.
Well, it was your
Gonna
own
rip your
fault.
fucking eyes out, man!
It was your fault for having such delicious eyeballs. Yeah. So yeah, there's dangerous animals to put suits on, but I feel like the most difficult animals to put suits on are the ones you don't think of, like a goldfish.
Yeah.
You know.
Jellyfish.
Oh, yeah. How the fuck do you put a suit on a jellyfish?
Well, you could design a suit for its main body, and design little cufflets for its fucking tentacles.
Sure.
It's the problem is getting one to sit still and not kill you fast enough to do anything with it.
Oh yeah.
Because like a single touch injects enough venom to kill like 5 men. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have to have a pretty thick armored like rubber suit to survive that.
Some of them are fucking immortal, so they don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, there are like jellyfish that are hundreds of years old.
Yep.
The more simple the organism, the longer it has efficiency its chemical system. That's why we only live like 80 to 100 years at most, because we're very complex creatures, but
We have
like,
to find a way to harness the
there are
jellyfish's
people
power.
from the dawn of fucking time that we've discovered that are still active.
Yeah, and like those like 4,000-year-old trees and shit.
Yeah, those, and then 4,000-year-old trees, and then if you go even smaller into like single or very short number multicellular organisms, there are some of those that have literally been around for millions of years. So
Imagine trying to put a suit on a water bear. Or what the fuck are they? What the fuck is the actual name of those?
tardigrades.
Yeah, imagine putting a suit on a tardigrade. They'd fuck you up.
No, they wouldn't fuck you up. They'd just be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Trying to put a multicellular, trying to put a multi-fucking cellular object on me? I'm like one cell. What the fuck are you doing?
Look,
How do you make a suit single cellular? You can't.
we gotta get a really good tailor. What I'm saying.
Jesus Christ."
God.
Well, you know the theory that like that the theory like that what's small is big again.
We need to Photoshop a tardigrade with little cufflets on each of its little legs, and then put that in the fucking stream.
Yeah, you know that theory that like what's small is big again. To like oh, it sure is interesting that solar systems look like atoms, or it's like that shit where it's like it's possible there are universes that are.
Yes, orbits happen. Yes, of course. Yes.
No, but you know that theory, and I'm just thinking, well, from that micro universe's perspective, the tardigrade is actually a ferocious, enormous bear monster.
Are you telling me that there are cosmic tardigrades out there for sustenance?
Possibly.
Okay,
Am I saying that we're riding on a disc-shaped world on the back of a tardigrade? Yeah, possibly.
This is some fucking hokey shit. Can we stop? This is making me uncomfortable.
It's just mammoths all the way down.
Can we just fight?
I don't like what you're saying. I want to engage you in combat.
No, so I've been deep diving. So somebody did an AI voice thing of Dagoth from Morrowind, and if you've ever heard Dagoth speak in Morrowind, he has like 5 voice lines that echo through the chambers of the dungeon to him. And literally, he's the most soft-spoken, charismatic motherfucker you can possibly speak of. And I know why they did that. The devil wears finery and speaks fairly. But somebody figured out how to make an AI voice of him, and they've been doing absolutely funny, hilarious shit online.
Yeah.
Memes are back in style, apparently.
Oh yeah.
What was the one we watched? It was like, now hand over that skooma pipe. You've been boofing that shit all day.
I like this progressive cycle of just that random old things will become popular memes again, and you get to, vicariously like recontextualize your remembrance of that thing.
The fucking
like,
video. Go ahead.
I was a huge fan of like 5 or 6 months ago when the song "Big Iron" became a meme to remix. That was really fun.
I've literally seen a synthwave remix of every Dagoth where where the chorus is just repeating "What a grand and intoxicating ignorance" over and over.
Every now and again, people will find a new Family Guy clip to endlessly parody, like the fucking crack scene.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
I think I've seen. Funniest what I've seen is the one where the crack scene, but Peter can read minds, where the audio is just desynced because Peter can read what Brian's about to say before he says it. That's a funny version of that scene.
For the record, with the fucking Dagoth thing, look up the video Dagoth rants about the High Elves. That's hilarious.
Okay. All right.
It's like, isn't it strange that 3% of the population owns banks and scuba mines?
Also, Kevin, I don't know if you've seen. I know you retweeted the one on Twitter, but you should watch the full 2023 presidential debate leaked video on his channel.
Oh my god.
I just had that. I think you just retweeted that because I just
23 minutes long.
What? No, it's only like 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, because the Twitter is like a 50-second cut, but there's like a full 3.5-minute version on his channel.
No, you see, I am the Chad Wojak, and you are the Soy Wojak.
I am not a virgin. Your mother can attest to that.
Deepfake voices are exactly where they need to be. Exactly
you are not
where they
based,
need to
you
be.
are in fact cringe. No, I don't think so. A more fitting analogy would be I am the rare Pepe and you are the sad Peepo. It's so good. So fucking good. Anyway, we have an email to get to.
We do.
This comes from...
Oh no, go ahead, because I don't know what the email contains. So yeah, but go ahead.
It's a lot. Right, this comes from friend of the show and your personal butt buddy, Cuba the Third.
You know it!
Hi, BGS.
Referring to Kevin.
Yep. Hi, BGS. Well, we're not Bethesda Game Studios, but we'll try our best. Got some new questions and topics. So, Zeke, it'll soon be 9 years since Gamergate. How do you feel about the movement now that you are more left-leaning and haven't succumbed to the alt-right rabbit hole like some Gamergaters? Not saying Gamergate is right-wing, though, but it has led to alt-right rabbit hole for some. Well, I've always... I was left-leaning at the time. Right, so my general thought is that it's twofold, because number one, it's hard to deny elements of it were co-opted by the alt-right, but also it might be the most... Gamergate might be the case of, like, the most historical revisionism I've ever seen in an online event. The Wikipedia page about it is complete fucking nonsense and trash for anyone who was actually there at the time.
Right.
It is a very clear history is written by the victor situation, because it was not about the things they now say it was about, and it did not progress in the way that they claim that it progressed.
So I stayed the fuck away from all the Gamergate nonsense. I just enjoyed my video games. What was that all about? Because I never got a clear definition about it. There was just a bunch of angry takes going left and right.
Okay, so this is...
It might be Zoomer. You never know. There might be like one Zoomer watching this fucking show who's like, what's Gamergate? Like,
I was 5 years old at the time.
Right, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Right, so I haven't thought about it in a long time, so some details are probably off, but the general thing that it erupted from was that was collusion in game journalism, essentially. That someone was getting... The inciting incident, if I recall, was that someone was getting favored press from journalists that they were sleeping with, essentially, for their projects and whatnot. And it was basically a gradual expose of a lot of various cliquiness, collusion, and back-end deals in games journalism. Essentially. It kind of became about more other things, but that's kind of what it started with. So it was really a call for transparency and accountability in both games development and games journalism.
I always heard that what it was a I'd always heard that it was something about gatekeeping or barring like progressivism in game or something, in games journalism. I didn't know it was literally just about general misinformation spreading and bad take.
Well, yeah, it was about collusion. It was about there was like a behind the scenes clique, you know, there was a sort of an in group and an out group where who got coverage was determined more by connections and clout and who you slept with than, you know, actual merit. Now, there were definitely people that gradually sort of turned it into a general sort of a proto form of like the kind of thing you see. It's complicated, but it's like when it was anti-left, it was anti like dumb left. It was anti Emily. It was anti SJW things. But at least in the circles I was in, it never became the thing you see today, where like you guys seen that Steam review of Hogwarts Legacy where someone's like, remove the blacks and freaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was never... at the time it was never that. No, there were definitely probably people that had it like that, like were in the hashtag or like had it on their profile or whatever, that were leaning in that direction, but that wasn't the main movement. It wasn't what started it, and it wasn't what it was about. And I feel like that only happened later, but it's been retroactively branded as the entire thing. But also, and this is something I believe the Wikipedia article focuses on a lot, was the supposed targeted harassment campaigns that even the FBI investigated and said were not true. So I don't know what more people want from that. Like the supposed targeted death threats at Anita Sarkeesian and other such figures this was investigated by the FBI, who said we found no such ties to this movement from these people. So that was a solved issue for me. Am I saying that no one involved has ever harassed anyone? Probably not. There's probably been someone, but like it was not. The movement was not a targeted harassment campaign. The movement was about awareness of back end collusion in journalism.
Yeah.
But so I don't talk about it much anymore, partially because it's been so long. The details have eluded me. Even some of the things I've just said were probably wrong in some way, because it's just not something I actively think about anymore. And like you said, it's been 9 years. So yeah, but I will say, when it gets brought up, I get annoyed because I was there on the ground. I was one of the most active people in it. And it was not the way people say it was. It wasn't about what people say it was about, and it didn't progress the way people say it progressed. And it was an attempt to do something, and it failed, and it lost. And history is written by the victors, and the fucking Wikipedia page about it is a prime example of that. Because ultimately, the way things progressed, it's like it's hard for us nerds to make valid stances about anything, because I'm not saying gamers are oppressed, but what I am saying is that there's a certain mentality to not taking anything we say seriously, and because we're known for.
I don't think it helps that gamers are also seen as will regularly engage in irrational hate campaigns towards fucking gamers.
No, I'm not saying it's necessarily ill-founded. I definitely think it's a bit of a boy cried wolf situation. But I think it's sad that the one time we came together to expose legitimate collusion and legitimate corruption in a space, we weren't taken seriously. We lost that information war, and it has been retroactively rebranded as something that, from my point of view, it never was. So, yeah, just a whole shit show around. So I don't think about it too much anymore.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that answers that question. His next point: do you think there will be any ethical use for AI, whether it's art, writing, or what have you? Yeah, sure, definitely.
Yeah, I think it was designed with ideas initially. It's just that, as with any new technology that's completely unregulated, it's going to be used for nefarious means almost immediately until the laws and restrictions start coming down the pipeline.
Sure. As I've said before, though, I think the blanket movement to just ban it entirely is ill-founded and could backfire horrifically. Because whether you want to admit it or not, the same principles that the AI uses to create what it creates also apply to our notions of derivative work and inspiration and copyright and all that.
Yeah.
So I think you walk a very fine line when it comes to saying, well, it's okay when people do it, but when a computer program does it, it's not.
Well,
the law doesn't really work that way.
Well, my whole thing is I think we've already got laws in place that prevent the worst cases of abuse. For example, as far as I know, you can't use AI to generate realistic imagery of kids or whatever. Does that make sense? Of like naked kids or whatever.
Yeah, because
it's technically not illegal, but it's going to get you in a lot of hot water.
Yeah.
And just like,
is it? I feel like there needs to the legal precedent has to be established for something like that.
The legal precedent is
It depends on how it's being used. If
So-
you're trying to depict, a real person, like an actual real person, then it's illegal. But if
that's what I'm saying though. Is that like, are you depicting a real person, or are you using images to conjure a fake person that looks real?
well, that's where the line is drawn. It's
Yeah.
like, if you're using this to like generate an image of like Emma Watson in Harry Potter 1,
Sure.
that's completely different than just like generating a random
But
image.
legally speaking,
Yeah.
how do you? Because when you generate, I don't know if you guys have ever done AI generation. I have. I've toyed around with it.
I have.
Like you can get things that look very close to what you're going for,
Yeah.
but in a legal setting, how exactly do you prove that this is Emma Watson and not just a manufactured image of a child that happens to look like she did?
Well,
You
and,
know?
and here's my statement to that is it probably has to do with being able to root out your intent behind
Sure,
the And-
but there's also
that can be tricky
like-
to figure out, but
that's tricky because it's not just your intent, it's also what the machine, you can't control necessarily what the machine is drawing from. It has its data set, and it's gonna, you, aside from whatever tags you put in it to sort of direct it,
God.
you can't tell it to not use Emma Watson specifically.
Yeah, that just reminds me of
no.
fucking-
But that's fine. But what I'm saying is that, but you had an intent going in to generate the image, whether or not
Sure.
it used someone
But
like
that's
Emma Watson.
incredibly hard to. That's incredibly
Well,
like.
that's all I'm saying is like we already have laws in place about doing things like that. And again, the issue I ran into the other day is people using AI generation or AI map or whatever to create like revenge porn of like an ex or a celebrity or something, and then plastering it all over as a form of harassment. Like we already have laws against that. Like if you Photoshop, I looked into it. We already have laws stuff like that. If you have if somebody claims that their likeness was used in a derogatory manner without their
Sure.
permission, there are laws
Sure.
that allow them to
No, I believe
remove
you. I
that imagery
believe.
from-
I believe that exists. What I'm saying is that I think when it comes to AI generation, it can be very tricky to prove likeness. And I think we're going to get into a lot of situations where people will accuse their likeness of being misused when it's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
That's going to be shit to figure out.
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. And it's even trickier than something like, people already do this stuff with Photoshop, right? They already shop their ex's face into like porn or whatever. I mean, we've seen 4chan do this constantly to like any female that they dislike, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's one of those cases where it's like, is it profitable for a lawyer or court to spend tax dollars or the complainant's dollars on actually pursuing a tricky situation like this? Probably not, but there is a general precedent set that this is kind of an unacceptable use of artistic talent is for the purpose of harassment, because harassment's harassment. It doesn't matter how you go about it, whether or not you're physically or emotionally abusing them using your words, actions, or whether or not you're using artistic talent. It doesn't matter. Harassment's harassment. And again, this is why we have juries to figure this stuff, because juries will look at this and they'll say, well, given his circumstances and his intent and the stuff we were able to figure out, he's either guilty or not. So I think it's going to have to be kind of a case by case business. But as far as I know, we already have laws in place that kind of prevent AI art from being abused.
Sure, but I think most people are more concerned about the non-personal uses, the the commercial uses, the replication for art in products, and like
and I know what it's going to really hurt. It's going to really hurt the artistic community, because a lot of people, as the technology, and maybe not right now, but as the technology gets more sophisticated and better, like everybody uses like Stable Diffusion, which was basically released as open source, right? But it's not the best version of AI generated art. Like it's not. There have been privatized versions of it that are more sophisticated. That belong to companies. And as that technology becomes more advanced, there's going to be less and less of a need for people like digital artists, which, that happens throughout time. Well, it kind of and kind of not, because AI databases have to use pre-existing digital art as a basis. They can't, but eventually that might not be the case. And then, we slowly start to do a thing where AI stops being the novelty and starts being the norm.
Yeah.
And
there's definitely a case to be made for the fact that art evolves and artists have to evolve with it. You really can't make a living as a poet anymore.
no,
That's
you
not
really can't.
That's not a thing, but poetry still exists. We just call it rap now.
Well, and that's how you profit off is you make rap songs.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as poetry goes, like, yes, there are no more E.E. Cummings. There are P.
When the Wacom tablet was invented, I'm sure all the watercolor artists were like, "Damn," you know.
Oh, that was absolutely a thing. I was there when tablets. I was there as an artist in an art school when tablets started becoming much more sophisticated, and
and everybody who works with watercolor
like
or charcoal are like
into actual artistic programs as opposed to photo editing programs.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
there was definitely an outcry from like your classic painter or watercolor artist that's like, this isn't art, and I'm like, no, it's art. It's still made with a human hand.
Sure.
And that's where I draw the like, as far as like the whole argument of definition between art and AI generated art. I do not consider AI generated art. I think it's a misnomer. I call it AI generated imagery. And the reason I say that is because at the end of the day, you only have so much control. I mean, even no matter how sophisticated your prompt is, you only have so much control over what the computer is going to generate. And eventually it'll get to a point where your satisfaction is just is satiated, where like your wants are satiated. It's the same thing. It's like, if you're, you can stand in front of a gorgeous natural vista, okay, and say, man, this is beautiful. This is so beautiful. I love looking at this stuff. Like, stand in front of a mountain or something, or like go to Mount Fuji, and it's a beautiful vista, yes, but is it art? No, it's not art, because there's no human intent behind it. There's no artistic intent behind it. It is simply a randomly generated smattering of nature. Okay. Now, and people might argue that, well, what about photographers? Because all they do is take pictures of vistas. And I'm like, there's still artistic intent behind it, because you're trying to capture specific elements of that to evoke a certain emotion. And so there is still a human artistic intent behind it. But with AI generated art, there's only so much control over that, control you have over that. So I don't consider it real art, because it's not crafted in the same way that like every other form of art is. And you lose creative control over it, over what you're producing at some level. So you lose some of that artistic intent. So I think I prefer to call it AI generated imagery rather than art.
Sure. I think at a certain point it becomes, I don't think it's as simple as that, because I think first of all, the actual art of it, especially when you're trying to do anything complicated with AI generation, the actual act of trying to mold your tags and your prompts and your parameters to what you want is kind of a skill set in itself, if we're being real. There's a pretty steep learning curve to being really good at AI generation. But it also doesn't have to be the be-all, end-all. People have used, I've done it, used AI-generated imagery as a basis to then further modify and tweak it to their liking. And at that point,
I would still consider art.
Sure.
Because ultimately what you're doing is you're taking something that's randomly generated, which, or you're taking, it's the same concept as painting. A painting starts as a blank canvas, or even something like a piece of wood in the case of something like the Mona Lisa, or you're taking something that is raw. You're taking raw elements, and then you're modifying those elements or tweaking them to the point where they are no longer raw elements. They are intentionally crafted elements, and they meet exactly what your artistic intent intended in the first place. So I would still, as long as you are modifying your quote unquote canvas, that's fine. That I will still give.
I understand. I understand your point of view here. I think it's a bit arbitrary though, because I feel like there's going to be cases where you will be shown an image, and you might not be able to tell at some point that it's either AI generated or whether it was touched up by anyone or what it is. So I feel like it's a bit arbitrary to go, well, AI art isn't art, because you could be fooled and you could think, well, this is a beautiful piece of art I'm looking at, and you might not know that it was generated by an AI. You can't always know the intentions and the process behind every image you see.
Well, we've had photorealistic paintings for decades now, and like it's like a lot of those are so good that you can't tell from any distance except looking
Sure.
putting your eye right.
I might just be getting on a semantic point here.
It is.
Because
Unfortunately,
there's going to be cases where you see images and you're going to go, oh, that's some good art, and I'm like, oh, actually, that was AI generated, and you'll be like, no, I can't
I think the
that
issue.
anymore.
I think the issue is that this concept is not going to make sense to like someone who hasn't actually engaged in art study, or art history, or engaged in art itself. So it's like, the definitions that define art are very arbitrary to the average person, but are extremely well defined, and inscrutable, or completely like non-scrutable in community. Like there are certain
I
things that
have an associates of arts. I understand.
Yeah, no, and I studied art for 5 years, so it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, is AI generated imagery art? I would say no, because it lacks one of the major tenets that makes art, and that is what I discussed earlier. But again, that doesn't mean you have to stop. You can use it as a tool, but you can use it as a tool. There's lots of artists that use strange tools to generate their art.
Sure.
But as long as the final product was at some level intentionally crafted by human hands, then what your canvas and tools are doesn't matter. But that's the distinction. It has to be modified or intentionally changed for it to be defined as art. And maybe that definition will change as years go on. Yeah. But also, right now, as art history season and as art as a definition season, AI generated imagery is not technically art, even if it is pretty to look at.
Sure, but by that definition you just gave, though, it is drawing from massive data sets of human-generated art, and you are kind of recontextualizing and modifying it by the very nature of you're molding it with the tags and prompts and parameters and such. So, in a way, you're taking art that was already made by people and you are personally molding it, and it is a tool, but is it, because you're already kind of doing that, the end result is a little out of your control, but also a lot in your control, because it would be complete nonsense if you didn't give it the parameters to work with. So I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm just saying by the definition you gave, it sounds like it already does that.
Well, the general consensus from the artistic community, and I'm not talking about the artists who are butthurt that there are people making Patreon on AI generated art. I'm not talking about those artists. I'm talking about the actual people who have studied,
people who know who Rembrandt is.
Yeah, exactly. The people who actually study art and understand what makes art are of the general consensus that AI generated imagery is not art. And maybe that definition will change over time, but as it stands now, it is not art. As the current definition stands. But again, art's kind of weird because it's one of those things that has so constantly evolved. Every time somebody makes an image, art evolves. Okay, so every time somebody creates something, art evolves. So again, I'm not saying that that's going to be that way forever. It's just that as it stands now, that's the opinion of the general community, is that AI generated imagery is not art. So until that definition changes, you can't consider it that. I also, but that being said, AI generation does have one really cool, and that's creating tons of hentai. So, which nobody gives a shit if it's AI generated. Then I just want a fat. You know what I mean? Like nobody gives a fuck at that point.
Yeah.
But
I do feel, getting away from imagery for a second in terms of AI generated writing. Here's the thing. I don't think AI writing is going to replace prose anytime soon, because there's very obvious tells, and to make it even, I've been toying with novel AI for a little bit. I don't think it's anywhere near sophisticated enough to actually replace human prose, because it needs so much guidance and so much editing and tweaking. I think it could potentially be a useful tool in some circumstances, but I don't think it's going to replace prose anytime soon. What I think it will replace, and what it already is replacing, is sort of the middleman, sort of low-rung blog spot, sort of like BuzzFeed article nonsense. I think fair enough at replicating that. Although I definitely think there should be a human editor on board to make sure it's not making egregious errors in whatever it's talking about. But yeah.
Yeah.
And then deepfakes are just funny. They're just funny.
Yep.
And as I ran it on Twitter, useful for fan mods.
Oh yeah.
That's a conversation I don't want to repeat again because it was a long, arduous fucking series of points about entitled voice actors and whatever, and the equalization of the creative fields and whatever. I don't want to get into all that again. But deep AI voice generation is going to be very useful for game modding. I will say that, and also for hilarious memes about presidential elections. So. Yeah, which also could be used for evil, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Anyway, we're done with that topic.
Yeah.
I'm sure Kevin would like to talk again.
Yeah, I've just been letting y'all go off because like you're the people who have like look, as it was said, you have an associate's degree. You've been studying art for 5 years. I just have a DeviantArt account that I haven't used in 12 years. Okay, like that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
All right, so Cubey goes on. So we all know localization discourse is tiring. It seems like for every Jake Young, there's 10 Katrina Leodonakis.
Leonidakis, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. If you were the head of a localization department, what would be your rules? Could AI advance enough in 10 to 15 years to push out annoying localizers? I don't know, maybe.
I'm not sure because one of the biggest things about
I feel like AI needs to be better at writing before it's better at translating.
Yeah, because like a big thing about translation in terms of the AI part of your question is translation is heavily dependent on situational nuance, and especially in terms of languages like Chinese, Japanese, Korean, a lot of the Asian specific
languages of the Asian persuasion.
Let me just ask something. Isn't Google Translate like a $20 billion investment by Google?
Yeah, and it sucks
or
shit.
Something ridiculous. Yeah, and it sucks shit. Even DeepL, which is a better refined and more accurate translator, still sucks. It'll get the general point across, but it loses all nuance, and sometimes it makes massive mistakes.
Yeah, that's the point.
So
I
will. These are programs where billions were spent developing them. So it's like I don't know if within our lifetimes, even maybe at least in the next decade, we are ever going to see a translator program that can capture nuance and understand human intent.
Let me say this, Cubey. If AI gets smart enough to do that, we'll have bigger questions than how our video games are localized.
That's a very good point, but that's a very small part of the question here. The bigger question here is like what kind of what kind of guidelines you would like, what kind of rules you would implement. The problem with that is
I don't think it's rules being broken that's the problem.
Yeah, because like we've actually talked about this before. One of the biggest issues with I think we talked about it like once on the podcast a long ass time ago, but let's bring it up again. The biggest issue here is mostly the fact that localizers and translators work at a job that is fundamentally invisible. The best way to know that you are doing your job right is that no one notices. So there's this inherent disconnect where you want to be recognized for the hard work that you do, but by the nature of your work, if people notice the work that you're doing, it probably means that you did something wrong because it's sticking out too much.
Yeah, and the only people who know how cleverly or sophisticatedly you translated something are other translators or other people who are bilingual.
Yeah.
The audience you are creating for isn't going to understand why what you did was so impressive. And I get it. That's frustrating, but that's also the job.
Yeah. And like
yeah, exactly.
The bigger issue is that like by doing that you were also you could make the argument that you were infringing upon the the original author's artistic intent because you're introducing your own personal ideas and your own personal inferences on the material into the original and presenting that as the artist's original work, when at that point you're beginning to introduce drift into how
The
accurate
entertainment
it
industry
actually
is
is.
fucking. I mean, it's not. It goes beyond localization. The entertainment industry is full of these types of people,
It is.
like the fucking Netflix Witcher writers who clearly want to do their own fucking thing, despite the fact they've been hired to adapt someone else's work.
Yeah.
And that's a problem that's existed for decades and decades.
Yeah, when when the whole thing
because
about with that one is that like the during the production there was a constant back and forth, and all the writers and directors and people working on the production looked at Henry Cavill asking to make the series more accurate to the books. Like everyone just looked at him like a weird nerd who was cramping their style when really he just wanted a better product.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who yearn to be respected and appreciated creatives that get stuck in middleman work of either localizing someone else's work or adapting someone else's work, and so they try to make it their own to stand out, and all they end up doing is making something that is gimped by the fact that it's bound to something already created, but also hated by the target audience it was intended for, because it's not what they wanted. So to those people, I recommend that they write their own shit.
Yeah, so like the whole thing about what rules and guidelines would you implement, it's very easy to just say translate it accurately, but that's a very unclear thing to define in terms of localization, because you could mean that in just the way of,
Yeah, I hate both sides of the equation. I hate the anti-localization people that act like,
yeah,
if it takes more liberties than DeepL, it's bad, or or if it's fucking, on the other hand, the pro-localization people who seem to act like it's perfectly fine if you completely rewrite something, to suit your own whims. So like,
there's the group that enjoyed ghost stories, and then there's the group that thought it was an insult.
Okay, Ghost Stories is an entirely different situation. We're talking more stuff like that one Otoko no Ko manga that got turned into like a fucking like a fucking trans experience manga, which that wasn't the original author's intent. And when the Japanese publisher got wind of that, they clamped down on it hard.
Yeah.
Well, good, because that's defacing their artistic vision.
Look, there are plenty of good trans experience manga out there. Don't co-opt someone else's experience just to...
That's what I'm saying, is that these people need to go write their own fucking book.
Exactly. And like
if you want to do that shit, write your own shit.
Yeah,
that's
and
not your job.
The fucking localizers.
Well, that goes back to, like, I read an article
Go ahead.
State of the fucking light novel industry. Like, a lot of the light novels that have a promising concept are written like shit, and so 90% of what you end up reading at the end is done by the editor. And like how the editors are bitching that there's just like no good light novels being written because kids don't know how to fucking write for shit, and they end up having to do most of it. And I'm just like, why don't you just go write your own fucking stories then? Like, if you're tired of having to turn somebody else's work into something readable, just make your own fucking work.
Yeah, I always get skeptical with claims like that, because I'm just like, well, first of all, I don't think industries can sustain themselves if that's truly the setup.
Yeah.
But also, it's like, if you have...
But that being said, I can totally believe that it's happened more than...
I'm sure it's happened. I just don't think the entire fucking industry... It's a widespread problem that's propping up the entire industry.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's the case.
No, that's not sustainable. And at a certain point, the money men will be like, well, why don't we just have the actual writers write things? Why are we paying these other schmucks?
Exactly.
So, just by the sheer inherent quote-unquote efficiency of capitalism, I don't think that's the case. The vested interests of such. But anyway, in terms of localization, I mean, like, yeah, it's always a compromise. It's a compromise between respecting the intent and making sure it's understandable by its target audience. And there are ways to do that well, and there's ways to do that poorly. And
not everybody's gonna love every...
That's true. There are plenty of objectively good localization decisions that I don't like, and that's fine. But because they at least respect the material and got the point across.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't in a way I preferred.
Yeah.
So I think the localization people who should be writing their own fucking books are stupid, and I think the anti-lock people are especially stupid. But yeah, so there's a again, like, guidelines are kind of that's the guideline, is just respect it, but also make it enjoyable and give an equivalent experience. And
Yeah.
again, if you do your job right, it's mostly invisible. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
And that's my whole point is that's my whole point is like you signed up for an interpretation and translation job, like, and you actually landed in an industry that you actually enjoy. Most interpreters or translators end up doing their work by like translating medical documents, or instruction booklets, or blueprint readouts, or professional works like monthly salary reports or whatever. That's where 90% of the translation work in the world ends up, is in something completely mundane and uninteresting. You were lucky enough to land a job in a medium that you actually enjoy. Fucking take your win and shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there are tons of translators that are probably better than you that, like, could be doing your job, and you're bitching that you have this job.
Yeah.
And you're not being seen and praised, and people aren't coming to your Twitter and offering to suck your dick over it. Just shut up and enjoy the fact that you have
it's
a job.
the fucking shit like Katrina being like, well, I think Spy X Family's success is owed to its subtitler. And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think that's true. You made that up.
Oh my
First thing,
god.
Boo Radley had hose, and Boo Radley did not have hose.
Right.
That fucking tweet that she made is so fucking indicative of the level of like self-importance that a lot of these people put on themselves and
The
their work.
hubris, the sheer hubris.
Because it's like you are literally putting yourself above the original work that you are translating, which you shouldn't be doing.
It's literally like saying, fuck.
Spy Family
It's
is popular because Spy Family is good.
It's like saying, John Wick's a great film, but I think its success is really owed to the accountants.
Yeah, right.
But anyway,
I think its success is the guy who delivered the catering.
Yeah, honestly,
Honestly, let's be right here.
Yeah,
I think the caterer
champion.
I think the caterer. Well, no, that's my favorite. I always check who the caterer is in every single fucking. If I'm allowed to, I will stay long enough into the credits of every piece of work I see just to see who brought the catering, because properly fed actors and crew are probably more important than the fucking accountant to making a good movie. Let's be honest here.
Sure.
Like the unsung hero of every film, the guy who brings the fucking boxes.
This is reminding me of the third Family Guy Star Wars special with the opening title crawl, where they're just like, we didn't even want to write this one. Hell, our FedEx guy got a joke in, and he thinks the baby's name is Steve.
Yeah. It's just my message to that entire industry is just be glad that you have this job that only like a small percentage of people in your industry ever get to touch. Like being able to interpret or translate media works that touch millions of people is pretty.
And don't get me wrong, awesome. You all deserve to be paid better, but that's a separate issue.
And I agree, but expecting you guys to be celebrities above and beyond the person who did all of the dirty work of actually writing and creating the work in the first place is an extremely narcissistic take.
Yeah.
And with that, let's stop talking about Katrina ever again.
Right.
Anyway,
we're gonna find her.
He writes, "What is a pet peeve you have with normies? Mine is talking movies and then being asked who's in it." I also hate that. I hate that fucking thing people do when they talk about movies where they don't say the character name, they say the actor name's character.
Will Smith really fish and Renee Zellweger fish and Jack Black Shark.
Yeah, just as a writer, it just bothers me that people don't respect the characters enough to remember their names.
Is that like inherently a normie thing to do though? Because like I know plenty of like an adjacent question would be like if you say, hey, have you tried this anime, and somebody would look at me and say, what studio is it by?
I suppose so, but nobody talks about ReZero and goes, yeah, I really like the Rie Takanashi character.
Well,
nobody says that.
Because if you talk to a American weebs, yeah, sure, because most Americans don't like because we're not used to their like nomical structure, the way that they structure their names. Like the Japanese names are much more difficult to.
Okay, sure, but it's the same
Also-
fucking shit. It's the same shit in Western shows as well, you know.
I just don't understand how it's a normie thing. It just seems like an honest question.
Sure.
Like it just seems like an honest question. Like, okay, who's in it or whatever.
Well, first of all, we're talking about two separate things. He's talking about who's in it. I'm talking about actor name, character name.
Yeah. See, when
different.
I hear that happen, it's mostly done as like a joke at the expense of the movie that like they didn't like.
That's true. I think the annoyance might be that their first question is who's in it and not what is it about.
Right.
You know,
right.
as if somehow who's in it is more important than what the film is about.
Yeah.
I get that I can get that annoyance. But then again, I'm interpreting what he wrote. That's all he wrote.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't know what he meant.
I just don't know how much of a normie thing that is.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. So something I've always, in a similar vein, pet peeves, normies, whatever. I've often talked about. I fucking hate being asked what my favorite, like saying, yeah, I play video games. What's your favorite game? It's like, well, I don't know. I got like a list of 30 of them. You want me to go through them all? It's like, you know, I don't like being put on the spot like that. I have recommended in the past a much better and less spotlight putting question. It's shit like, oh, what have you been playing recently? Or, you know, what are you looking forward to? Stuff like that, where there's more to go off of. But if you just ask me what my favorite X is, it's like, well, I don't know. I don't think about it like that.
So that doesn't bother me because a lot of times asking those questions, like, you know, they'll usually start with like, what kinds of things are you into? And I was like, I like anime, video games, stuff like that. It's just a natural progression of the conversation. I don't think it's because like they're
I think it's unnatural because it grinds it to a halt every time because nobody has a good answer for that. And if you do, you're kind of a sociopath.
Yeah, but like doesn't like everybody try to answer the question anyway? Like
because you want to keep the conversation going. That's not because it's enjoyable to do so. Because you want to avoid an awkward pause.
I'm just saying, again, this is something that boggles my mind because, like, I don't know if that's such a normie thing. Because, like, whenever I find somebody who's an otaku who's into anime, one of the first questions they'll ask me is, "What's your favorite anime?"
That's true.
What's your favorite video game?
That's true.
Like, it's
but
a natural question to ask.
I think it's a trickle down effect from normie society, though. I think we should strive to do better as nerds.
Maybe.
Personally.
I don't know. I've never liked the term normie because if you actually like look at people, everybody's got that one thing that they are quote unquote nerdy about. You know, whether it's something that's, you know, widely socially acceptable, like a sports team or a favorite hot TV show of the week, like, you know, Breaking Bad, or it's something
that's
more
being a normie.
obscure. But like I don't understand like how much longer do we get to not call ourselves normies when anime has completely exploded to become a part of mainstream pop culture? Like do we get to call comic book nerds like normies?
I mean sure,
like,
I mean sure, but it's always that surface level consternation, or that's not probably the right word, but it's like you know, it's like the normie is not a static thing. It evolves. It grows with what bubbles to the mainstream surface. You know, like if you can be into anime, but if you're only into like what airs on Toonami or whatever, then you're more normie-ish to me. Like it's a spectrum. It's a sliding scale. It's the willingness. What separates the two is a willingness and a regularity in diving beneath the surface. You know, it's not just being into movies, it's being into movies. It's not just being into games, it's being into games. You know, there's a certain credence of credibility that comes with being willing and able to dive deeper, and also wider and deeper, you know, more expansively, in the same way that someone with a passing knowledge of cars isn't a mechanic. You know, it's like that's how I kind of see it in terms of like artistic discourse.
I just have never liked the fact that the term normie has been used to like derogatively. Like, you know, it's like, okay, so, you know, maybe they don't know everything, or they don't widen their knowledge base about things that they.
Well, it's not even that they don't; it's that they won't.
But then again, but what are the reasons as to why they won't?
I don't care.
But that's my question. Like that's I think a relevant question, because I think the excuse there is that, oh, you're not willing. I think the general explanation that I've always heard is that, oh, they're just not willing to let themselves go.
Well, it's all relative though. Is the thing? It's like I really like.
So we can't define it. If it's relative, then we can't define it. We can't use a term derogatory.
You can define it in relative terms, as in how it relates to what your interests. You know, like I have a surface, like I like techno music. I have a surface level appreciation of techno music. I am by no means an expert on the subject. I'm sure experts on the subject would look at me and go, look at that normie. Like he's only grazing the surface. There's tons of things like that I'm into, and there's other things where I go deeper. And I am perfectly fucking okay with being called a normie in one relative sense and an enthusiast in another sense. Because there's only so much time in the day to do shit.
But see, that's my exact point, is that the term isn't used, the term is never used in relation to one specific aspect of a person. It's a stereotype.
Because some people be NPCs, though, and they don't get deep into anything. There are definitely a lot of people like that.
I think that's an incredibly calloused and nearsighted viewpoint of people as individuals, but okay, go off, Queen.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I will accept that. I am perfectly okay with.
And I think that we need to do better in understanding.
No, I think they should. I think they should get on our level, Scrubs.
No, I think we should do a better job of understanding and relating to people before we decide to judge them. I think that's a critical issue with everybody.
I think you're overestimating the degree to which we are unironically judging people. I think it's just a fun distinguishing label. I don't think and the key part of that is I don't think any normie is going to take offense to us calling them that, because they don't know what the fuck it means in the first place.
Well, they're also getting laid usually, so
yeah, they're too busy with all the sex they're having.
Yeah, they're too busy with the sex and the kids that they're raising to do late night deep dives on and working a 9 to 5 to do late night deep dives on the philosophical implications of the science scene from fucking Breaking Bad. Anyway,
yeah.
So it's like I can't
don't get offended on their behalf. They're having too much sex to care. See, that's how it all works out, is that, we get to be the outcasts and they get to have sex and we get to both make fun of each other for our respective inclinations. It's a mutual thing.
Good.
Kind of. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, he says, and lastly, we all know the Switch Pro is a meme, but what is your wish list for the next Nintendo console?
In terms of wish list, it's a bit of a broad statement, but I'm gonna narrow that down to like software that I want to see and hardware functionality that I want.
I want a real D-pad.
A real D-pad. A real D-pad is a good one. Better sticks. I want to keep the same. I want it to keep like a similar form factor, with similar to like the Switch OLED with the screen size, but make it a 1080p screen.
Can they offer official Joy-Cons that are made for adult hands? That'd be nice.
That'd be nice.
Instead of 9-year-old Japanese kids, that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I would really like it if the Joy-Cons had more surface, like just make it easier to hold, because the regular Joy-Cons cramp my hands so much.
Well, and it's just like make it the Switch Pro.
Yeah,
like let's be honest, just make the Joy-Cons the same
Switch
size
2
as the Switch Pro controller.
They'd be fucking stupid to abandon this form factor and not be backwards compatible. That'd be fucking stupid with the library.
Absolutely do backwards compatibility.
And the momentum that they've built up. It would be absolutely... And that's what the leaks were suggesting, is that it wasn't going to be backwards compatible. I'm like, no, rethink that.
No, that is a bad idea.
I would really just enjoy Nintendo to stick to what has been working for them and not try to pull another Wii or Wii U.
Yeah.
Like,
Bring over.
No,
Bring.
No
bring-
more.
you have carved out a great niche in the hybrid space. I think that is where you belong.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe that's where you belong.
Yeah.
Bring
Is,
over. Bring over the Nintendo Switch Online. Okay, so like, bring over the general Nintendo Switch Online format, but improve the netcode so that it's not strictly peer-to-peer. Create dedicated servers, include options for rollback.
That's more of a
netcode.
Japanese culture issue than a Nintendo issue.
That it's spreading further and further, and a lot of Japanese devs are actually utilizing it more now. So Nintendo's actually starting to be more and more behind the times as time goes on here. So I think that would be a good thing for them to implement going forward. Another reason why I want them to keep the current Nintendo Switch Online format is all of the retro games that are currently on there.
Yeah, don't reset your retro library again.
Don't do that again. Fuck, you already did that for the Wii and Wii U and the 3DS. Don't do it again. For the love of God, we're tired.
I'm so tired of having to rebuild the virtual console library from scratch over and over again.
You mentioned.
God damn it, so am I.
You mentioned.
And I've only had to do it once, and I can't even imagine what to do.
Oh,
Yeah. You mentioned backwards compatibility. Not only backwards compatibility, add the option for games to have performance updates to work better on the new Switch. Like, make it so that, like, say, fucking Doom 2016 can run at 60 FPS or something.
It might run into a similar issue with the PS5 where it has to be patched game by game. I don't know if you can do that.
That probably is the case, but
Yeah,
it's still
we'll
worth
see.
it's still worth doing.
Yeah.
But no, yeah,
But absolutely has to be done that because there's a lot of things in games that are tied to frame,
Yeah.
which I think is an antiquated system, but it is what it is.
It is.
We're going to absolutely have to make adjustments game by game for some games.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but
Anyway.
yeah, absolutely do that. And in terms of software, like, fucking, I don't know, man. The Switch did a lot of the things that I already want from, like, Nintendo. So, like, I don't know, just do more of what you've been doing currently in terms of games.
I think it would be really neat if Nintendo would offer a game streaming service so that they could get higher end ports of stuff onto your home console without having to make the fucking Switch the new Switch gigantic.
They already have cloud games.
They do.
They suck.
Expand upon that so we can get like new third Switch and you can play them at
I would say
as opposed to having to always rely on what is inevitably going to be outdated in a portable system.
They're already doing that. It's just game streaming sucks.
I would also say put in a better
and it's getting and in time it'll get better, and by the time they finally release a new console, I hope that it would get better. But yeah,
it's never going to be as good as native.
I would say put in a better fucking
I don't know.
Wi-Fi
We said the same thing
card.
about Bluetooth.
And it still hasn't.
I don't know, man. I was watching I was shit on with my Bluetooth earbuds.
No. We're not going to have this Bluetooth conversation if Andrew's not even here.
Okay. All I'm saying is that I've literally been using my Bluetooth earbuds. I have noticed absolutely zero lag in any of the sound whatsoever.
I'm not Cubase. Don't tell me this.
I'm just saying, like, the statements that were true 10 years ago about technology that we said, oh, it's never going to be as good. Well, it's pretty much fucking there at this point. So give it a couple years and you might be surprised what happens. I'm sure somebody is trying to profit off of this. Google already tried. They just blew their load way too fucking quickly.
What are you saying, Kevin?
Anyway, yeah, put a better fucking Wi-Fi card in it this time because the Wi-Fi card that's currently in the Switch sucks butt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's limited to like fucking 25, 35 megabits per second down or something, and that's really, really bad. So, yeah, improve that shit, please, Nintendo, because it's not very good right now. And that's also where a decent amount of your internet issues are coming from with the Switch, is the shitty Wi-Fi card that's in this thing.
Give the eShop a dark mode.
Give the eShop a dark mode. Make the eShop work better, because the current eShop is choppy as fuck and very hard to use.
Yeah. Anyway, we could go on forever, but we have the rest of this to do.
Yeah, but that's basically what I want from the Switch.
Yeah.
A
He
successor to the Switch.
He says one last thing. There was one moment you forgot to mention on the 100th episode, someone accidentally linking to the hangout thing on the first BGS episode, and some dude came in with a voice morpher sounding like Death Gun from Bullet Arc saying, "You cannot kick me from the chat." I don't think that was our first episode. That was later.
Yeah, that was like I think that was like episode 5 or 6 or something.
Yeah, no, that was fun. We still have no idea who Death Gun was.
Oh my god. That was funny though. That was like that's like one of my favorite moments from BGS.
Yeah, I guess we just left the link out somewhere, and someone just came in as Death Gun and told us they cannot kick us from the chat.
Yeah.
You cannot kick me from the chat.
It was fucking great.
Yeah, that's all, boys. So thank you for the email.
Death Gun, wherever you are, Godspeed to you, you magnificent bastard.
Oh yeah. So that's the email. Thanks for sending it, Cube. And anyone else who wants to be a part of the show, they can also send emails to bakagaijinshow@gmail.com. But that's going to do it for this first segment. And we'll see you on the next segment of the Baka Gaijin Show. Stay tuned. Fucking acid reflux or whatever.
You good, boy?
Yeah, we're good.
Right.
On the second segment of the Baka Gaijin Show.
Yeah.
We're doing a flippy script. Because Saradin was not here last time for the first segment, but he was here for the second. But now he was here for the first, but not for the second. Oh, that boy, he's the boy.
We've successfully subverted your expectations.
Yeah, that a co-host would be on the show. It's crazy how that works. But he's a busy man. He's got places to be, things to do, iguanas to passionately make out with.
Yes, clearly.
Like that.
Yep.
Like that. Medium Tifu time on the Reddit dive on the Baka Gaijin Show.
Oh yeah, getting right into it. Let's go.
Today I fucked up by losing track of my EpiPen and trying Wendy's new melon lemonade.
Oh shit, no. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yep.
This didn't happen today, but I was in the ICU on ventilator overnight and was moved to a regular room yesterday, and I'm now just able to post. I like that you haven't even left the hospital yet, and your first thought was, I need to post this to Reddit.com.
God, Reddit needs to know exactly what just happened.
I appreciate the hardcore Sigma Redditor mindset. Basically, I learned that I have a severe allergy to something in Wendy's melon lemonade. I'm not sure what it is, since no one at the hospital decided to run a test to check until after the time period to accurately show results was closed. So, we picked up some lunch, and I was about halfway through my regular meal when I remembered that I had that amazing... I remembered that I had that amazing sounding lemonade. I took 2 sips, and within 30 seconds, I could feel my hands and face swelling rapidly. My boyfriend was downstairs playing video games, and I was able to send 2 quick messages saying, "Come here, now!" After a few seconds of not hearing him move, I started banging my hands on the table to get his attention. He came up and I told him to get my EpiPen. I thought I last had it in my camera bag or my traveling bag, but it was in neither. He kept looking everywhere when I started banging on the table again, handed him my phone and just typed 911 in. He hit the other one and called emergency services. Luckily, an ALS... I'm hoping it's a different ALS. Squad was less than a mile away from my house and was inside giving me first dose of epinephrine within 2 minutes. After 3 units were given to my living room, they transported me to the nearest emergency department. I was given 5 more units of epinephrine en route and a few more in the ED. I was then admitted to the ICU overnight and was intubated, given a total of 140 units of epinephrine that night.
Ooh.
The worst part was the paralytic worked, but the sedative absolutely did not work. I was fully conscious for about 10 hours until they gave me a heroic dose of fentanyl to knock me out. They also had to cut off all my clothes, my favorite outfit.
Oh, no.
But my boyfriend has already recorded most of the items again for me. He's pretty neat, heart emoji.
Aww.
Anyway, I'm due to be discharged here in a few hours, and we already have plans to hang my new EpiPen in a bag in the hallway at home so it's easily accessible and we can just grab it when we leave the house. On the bright side, one of my best friends on Discord changed this hilarious SR Grapho comic to meet my situation, and it's possibly the greatest thing I've ever seen. That's funny. I'll post that in lobby chat.
Yeah, I'll put it in the video. That's funny.
TLDR, didn't know I was allergic to something in Wendy's melon lemonade, couldn't find my EpiPen, ended up intubated in the ICU fully conscious but paralyzed because sedatives didn't work. I should be going home today. Top comment, here are the ingredients in the melon lemonade for you. Lemonade, water, sugar, lemon juice, lemon pulp, lemon juice concentrate, natural flavors, ice sunburst, melon puree, corn syrup, water, sugar, strawberries, sugar, watermelon juice concentrate, kiwi fruit juice concentrate, melon puree concentrate, cucumber juice, distilled vinegar, salt, modified cornstarch, natural flavor, or leoresin paprika. There's paprika in the lemonade. Interesting.
Huh.
Citric acid, potassium sorbate added as preservative. There's nothing unusual in that, I don't think.
Not really. They might just have a specific allergy to one of the fruits in there.
Someone says, honestly, this is kind of a dangerous ass drink. Both the kiwi and strawberry stand out. Many people have allergies to those, and you would expect the melon lemonade to be, I don't know, melon and lemon.
Yeah.
Maybe change the name to kiwi berry melon lemonade or something. Not just casually throw in two of the most common fruit allergens and call it melon.
Yeah. That might just be the issue. They might have like a kiwi allergy.
I also looked up the ingredients for Oragel because OP said they had a reaction to that before. Potassium sorbate is a salt of sorbic acid, or Oragel. That could possibly be what OP reacted to.
Ah, okay.
Also oleoresin paprika is made of a chili pepper extract that is a known allergen as well. So it could be any one of these fucking things.
Yep. Well, I'm glad OP is okay and thought to tell us. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for posting it to Reddit before even leaving the hospital.
You got your priorities straight, girl.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's I mean, it's best for all of us to document, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, here's one for Kevin Faulkner.
It's Anita.
It's Sherbedo.
Am I the asshole for always guessing when my wife asks me to guess? No, you have to guess.
Yeah, that's how it works.
My wife and I have been married for a while, and ever since we got married, she tends to ask me a guess what question whenever something crazy or funny happens. I've always been very literal and grew up with my dad, who was a lawyer, and mother, who worked in the engineering field, so I've always been held to a high standard when communicating with people. That is not super relevant, okay? But what is relevant is that whenever I was asked a question, I was expected to reply with an answer that was well thought out or my best guess if I did not know the exact answer. Fast forward to me now, I am happily married, and although we have our fights, I am secure and happy in our relationship, and my wife has communicated to me that she feels the same. But every time she has asked me a guess what question, I think through where she is, what she had planned for the day, and what we are planning on doing later, and respond with a guess, and unfortunately I am usually spot on or very close in my guesses, and it makes her upset.
He's too good at guessing! He's too powerful!
She showed me several articles online about how to respond to someone when they ask you guess what, and it is usually to say what and get excited. I like guessing, though, and enjoy thinking through the problem and getting the thing she is talking about without having to tell me outright. She says that I'm the asshole for this, but I want to see what you guys think. Am I the asshole?
She's asking you to guess.
This is... I don't know, OP. I think you have to guess!
Yeah, I mean, she's asking you to guess, and you're guessing, so, you know.
This is so God.
This sounds like her problem.
Yeah, honestly, I personally don't think OP is the asshole, because this is a combination of, like, sure, you could say it's, missing a social cue, but at the same time, that's just how OP was
To be fair,
raised.
it's a fucking dumb social cue.
It is.
This dumb shit where we say, guess what? And then we're not allowed to guess, and we just have to go, what is it? What is it?
I guess.
It's stupid. It's fucking stupid. Like, I'm not gonna... Like, I get what Reddit is saying, where it's like, well, she clearly expects something, and you just don't want to respond that way. It's not that you don't understand. I understand that.
Yeah.
But, let me reiterate, this is a stupid fucking linguistic custom that needs to fucking die.
This is so minor, and, like, I feel like this shouldn't have...
No, this is the most important fucking shit that's ever gonna happen in the history of mankind, Kevin, you dumb dunce. I really fucking hate being asked guess what and then get in trouble for guessing. Like, you told me to guess. I'm on this guy's side. It's dumb.
Yeah.
It's fucking dumb. And if she doesn't want it to happen, stop telling him to guess if you don't want him to guess.
Yeah. I personally don't think OP is the asshole here. This is just silly.
No, I mean realistically, no assholes here.
Yeah.
But also, like, he is not obligated to respond in the exact way she wants him to. So maybe she should, you know, not do this bit if he's not going to fulfill the bit.
Yeah.
I don't think your entire fucking marriage should hinge on whether you respond appropriately to a guess what.
No, yeah, this is dumb. Just no assholes here. The whole thing's stupid. Move on.
The only asshole here is Reddit.
Yeah, Reddit's like, oh, you're the asshole, OP. You shouldn't shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up. Shut up,
Reddit.
Reddit.
A bunch of fucking where did Reddit to have such an NPC ass take?
Jesus.
Anyway.
Historically, that is the opposite of what Reddit should be doing. I expected more of you!
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How dare you?
You have disappointed me.
Pathetic.
Anyway. Let me look here. Well, I just went to the front page of Tfue and there's an extra large, so I can't ignore that.
Oh, let's go!
Extra large Tfue. This could be total bust, but let's find out. Today I fucked up by not being the one to leave first. Ooh. Mysterious.
How could this go?
Hi, I just wanted to say that I am in no way asking for any advice. I'm more so trying to give the advice so younger people can learn from my mistakes. Whenever I was 18 years old, that's a weird way to say that.
Yeah, sometimes I'm 18, sometimes I'm 25. It depends on how I'm feeling on the day.
Yeah, he's trans age.
Jesus.
Whenever I was 18 years old, I fell madly in love with a guy. Every time, huh? Every time you're 18? Anyway, I fell madly in love with a guy. Let's call him Lame. Lame and I had a 2-year relationship, and in the beginning, I thought everything was perfect. It most definitely wasn't. Oh, sorry, there's an A there. It most defiantly wasn't, but I'll get to that later. Lame treated me amazing in the beginning. Loving, kind, affectionate, funny, attentive. Made me feel like a genuine princess. So I fell so deeply in love that absolutely nothing would be able to take off my rose-tinted glasses. I worshipped the ground this guy walked on. I was so love-blinded I started ignoring the red flags. He was a complete, pathological liar. He said he didn't use social media, and then he ended up slipping up later whenever he told me he was looking at memes on Instagram. He lied about his age when I first met him. Oh, really? You, the trans age person, is gonna... He said he was 19, but he started getting nervous around his birthday, so he eventually told me the truth that he was 20 turning 21. I mean, it's not that much.
It's not that bad.
It's not like he told me he was 19. He was actually 42. It's like, no, it's like he's in the range.
Yeah. Also,
I don't understand.
You're 18, so like you're both legal adults. Who fucking care? What the fuck?
Anyway, I don't understand why he felt the need to lie about something that small. True. I mean, why? I almost didn't include it in this post, but needed you all to understand just how much the guy lied about stupid small shit. Maybe it's just a forloom, an indication of things to come. Little after that, he started allowing me to follow him on his socials, and I thought the lying would be done from there. Months go by, I got recommended a different Instagram page he made, so I got curious and started to do some snooping. He was cheating! My whole body started to have tremors.
Ooh.
It is usually only triggered by anxiety or when something really terrible happens to me. I worked up enough courage to text her and asked her, let's call her A, if she knew who my boyfriend was, and 2, confirm that she started dating my at the time boyfriend. A sent me pictures of their conversations and nudes they have sent each other. She sent the nudes.
She sent
really
the
funny.
nudes.
That's funny. I was shaking all night long and blowing up his phone, and he didn't answer. I was preparing what I would say whenever I tore him a new one and break up with him, and then I got a message the morning after, and all I could do was ask why. He was telling me that he didn't deserve me, and that he got with her as a backup plan if our relationship didn't work out. Any sane person would have blocked him, but I didn't want...
Oh my god.
Any sane person would have blocked him, but I didn't want to do that at the time. I didn't want to start over and get to know somebody else and fall in love with anyone else. I thought if I showed him how much I loved him and put my all into this relationship, he would never do it again, so I forgave him.
Oh no.
A few months passed and my trust in him was gone, but I still tried to fight for our relationship so I wouldn't bring up what happened in the past with A, or for a while everything was okay, until one day when one of his exes, let's call her B, told me she was still with him for the first 3 months of our relationship. He tried to lie and deny it at first, but then he eventually told the truth. He then proceeded to tell me that she was abusive and that I helped him get away from that relationship whenever he fell in love with me. It was a load of bullshit, but at the time I believed him for some reason. Does anyone want to guess what my dumbass did? I forgave him again. I want to go back in time and beat some sense into my brain and listen to what B told me. After that, our relationship was a roller coaster, but I still wanted us to work. So I never brought back up the cheating on me with A or B during the relationship. He would snap at me out of nowhere. We would be having a nice time, and then he would start being cold towards me, and I would never know why. I never argued back. All I could do was ask him why he was treating me so badly and that I didn't do anything wrong, or I'd even ask him if I did anything wrong. He would later excuse this by apologizing and telling me he loved me and saying he just had a bad day and didn't mean it to direct it at me. But this went on for a long while. Not every day, but enough to where I would have anxiety wondering if we would have a good or bad day. In the last moments of our relationship, I thought we were in an okay place until he eventually ended things with me. He told me he didn't love me anymore and that he cheated on me at a party he went to. I was completely and totally broken as a person. I couldn't eat for a while after the breakup or I would feel ill. I couldn't listen to music or watch any movies or TV shows because anything would remind me of him. To this day, I still have nightmares from the relationship because of how bad it was. I waited for months hoping he didn't mean what he said. He would tell me that he still loved me and that he didn't mean what he said and would still be affectionate towards me and we would still act like we were in the relationship together. But then I found out he got another girlfriend, let's call her C, and then I finally snapped. I told C everything he ever did to me and tried to warn her to stay away from him to save her from what he did to me. C then sends the screenshots to him and he calls me freaking out on me. He tells me I ruined his life because C would tell other people. I know I shouldn't have felt bad because I did the right thing and told C the 100% truth, something lame could never do. He proceeded to guilt trip me the whole phone call to the point where I was the one apologizing whenever he should have been the one doing the apologizing. I unsent the messages I sent to her because I was crying and apologizing because I was being bitched at on the phone by him. Whenever he calmed down, he told me he still wanted to be friends with me. I told him there could be nothing romantic with us ever again. It would have to be strictly platonic. It was still stupid because why would I still be friends with someone who treated me like that, but somehow I did. I don't know if C believed me or not because I'm pretty sure C and Lame are still together to this day, but I honestly don't know for sure because I haven't spoken to them in over a year now. But before the stupid excuse for a friendship ended, C eventually told him that she was uncomfortable with Lame still being in contact with me, and I get it. I would be uncomfortable with my boyfriend being friends with his exes too. I spent time single for a long time to get out of the dark place I was in mentally. I worked on loving myself and bettering myself. I learned about boundaries and to actually reinforce them no matter how much you love someone. I learned that you can't change a person or love a person enough into treating you better. I learned how to trust again, but not blindly. I've been with my current boyfriend for a little while now, and it's going amazing. He's a true sweetheart, a golden retriever boyfriend, lol. I love him so much, and I never thought I'd be able to love again. And then she goes over some rules or whatever. I don't give a shit. But yeah, I'm just going to say, not an extra large fuck up. Nobody died. Fuck you. This was garbage. This was fucking garbage.
Let's bring the
fucking
mood
wasted
up.
all of our time.
let's bring the mood up, shall we?
No, fucking, this was a waste of my time. This is not extra large. This is large at best.
Yeah.
Look, I get it. You're 19. You had your first big breakup. Wow, whatever. Some people are jerks.
Yeah,
okay, get over it.
It's bad, but it's not extra large fuck up bad. It's just
no.
just a fuck up.
Go look at other extra large fuck ups. You're talking about people fucking getting people killed, fucking going into millions in debt, fucking
almost dying,
fucking accidentally blowing up their house. That's extra large fuck up. This is not extra large fuck up. Okay, fuck you. Get out of my sight. You were banned from Reddit.com.
Get out of here.
Get out of here, you fucking. That makes me so mad. I'm so So miscategorized.
Yeah. Look, just because it feels extra large to you in the moment doesn't mean that in a broader sense it is an extra large fuck up. Like, the way that we categorize an extra large fuck up here, for clarity, is like it has to have massive long-term physical or like financial effects on you or other people.
Yeah, some kind of long-standing consequence, some kind of irreversible change, you know?
And like, look, I get it. You're traumatized, but it's very clear that the trauma happened before you got into that bad relationship, and this just compounded it.
Sure.
You're having a bad time. I get it.
I get it. This sounds like the most serious thing in the world that could ever happen to anyone.
Oh yeah.
At the age you're in and what you've been through.
But
let me just be the first to tell you, it's not.
Yeah, have you spent like $10,000 on microtransactions on a video game by complete accident? Have you flooded your entire garage and had to...
Have you had a rock in your ear for 13 years?
Yeah. Have you?
Didn't fucking think so. Even in terms of shitty boyfriends, this is far from the worst we've seen.
The thing is, the fucking rock in the ear was only a large fuck up. But that was absolutely extra large tier.
You think this is worse than rock in the ear guy? Fuck
no.
You. Get out of here.
This is not this is not worse than rock in the ear guy. I'm sorry.
No. Fucking. Here's one for you. Let's never talk about this fucking shitty post again.
Am I the asshole for wanting to exclude my sister? From what? Oh, it's a teenager. Teenage girl.
Oh yeah.
Gumball,
teenage girls are the worst humans imaginable.
My 15F.
I would like to argue, but I'm finding I seem to lack finding an arg. I forget how to words it.
Yep.
Whatever.
My 15F family likes to have a movie night, which we basically do that on Fridays when my parents don't have work, and my sister 19F doesn't have too much work for college. It usually happens like once a month. Mom insists on doing it or just having us all play a game so we can bond and have a good time, and it really is fun, so no one complains about it. Until today!
I'm about to complain about it.
Anyways, I recently noticed that my sister 19F starts crying every time we watch a movie. Like, not the sad movies or anything like that, any movie that's for younger kids that we usually put on for my other sister, 10F, just has her face tearful. It's usually random movies about friendship or simple ideas like that, or just Disney movies or Studio Ghibli ones. She doesn't cry at all at anything else. I have no idea why. It's also during random parts of the movie that it makes no sense to cry about, like someone flying, or someone hugging someone, or someone sitting in a garden or something. God, OP, you're a dumbass!
Maybe she's allergic to the beauty of the universe.
No one really notices it because it's usually dark and we don't really talk during movies. Plus, my sister is very unemotional usually, and this is so unexpected that even if I told anyone, they wouldn't believe me till they saw it. She also makes no sound anyway. So why do you care? It also only happens that my sister is seated next to me during the movies and my parents and other sister are further away, so they wouldn't notice at all. I notice because I usually have to check my phone so her face is a bit clearer for me, checking your phone during a movie. Ugh, how inconsiderate. This week, my mom suggested another movie
Pulling out your fucking telephone during a movie. Get real.
This week, my mom suggested another movie like that for us to watch next week, and since this time she agreed we'd be doing it with my friend coming over, I thought it would ruin the mood for the night if she saw my sister like that, and it was just not something I wanted to deal with. My friend is also nosy and knows my sister very well, and I kind of just want us to have fun without my sister in the picture. So here is where I may be the asshole.
To be fair, by the guidelines of the subreddit, you're supposed to include this section. It's just a lot of people don't.
I told my mom I'm okay doing it as long as my sister is not there. And if she is there, then she has to stop crying over nothing and control her emotions for the night. My mom didn't see where I was coming from and told me that if that's the case, then they will do it without me. I don't really want that, so I told her that my sister is too old for this anyway, and we could just not invite her from now on.
Too old to watch a movie?
She looked really upset and told me to go to my room. Am I the asshole? Yes, how dare your sister have...
I just want to point out the absurdity of saying someone is too old to watch a movie and telling this to a person who is older than the person you're talking about.
How dare your sister have emotional reactions to the beauty of human interaction and the wonders of nature? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Fucking sociopath.
Oh,
this is so
so cringe.
Yeah, top comment. YTA, this is so mean. Why do you care if she cries? Why does crying bother you? Is it loud? You said that no one even notices, so it seems like silent crying. Maybe think about why emotional expression bothers you so much. I tear up in a lot of movies, and what makes some people cry doesn't make other people cry. You're the asshole. You're trying to get your sister kicked out of family movie night because crying isn't cool.
She's really cramping my style.
You're really cramping my style by...
Ugh, your vibes are off.
How the I need to know... It is astounding to me.
Feeling things about media is so cringe.
It is astounding to me how much of a lack of self-awareness OP has with this. It's like someone flying, or someone hugging someone else, or someone sitting in a garden or something. It's like, it's sentimentality! She is feeling sentimental towards the thing! It is a positive emotion!
Sure, yeah.
Oh my god!
Anyway, you're the asshole and a potential sociopath.
You suck so much, OP. Fuck you. You're the asshole. You're the asshole.
Do better.
Do better.
Just as a human.
Jesus. Yeah. I love the mom's reaction. It's like, maybe we should do it without you.
Oh, reverse Uno card.
Don't make me snap my fingers in a Z.
Anyway.
Up, backwards.
Time for a large Tifu.
Ooh.
Today I fucked up by going to a Tinder date's house at 4 a.m.
Oh no.
As a horny college student, no time is too late nor too early to be going to a booty call. So, when my 21M Tinder date, let's call her Molly. What? Molly?
Molly? Molly?
Wait. Oh, my 21M Tinder date, let's call her Molly 19F.
Okay.
Okay. I was gonna say, who'd I'd matched with that very day asked me to come over at 4 a.m. since I was more than happy to oblige. To preface, I'm not the type of person who's really into one-night stands. I like casual relations, situationships. That's a good word. Situationships. But just one night is pretty unfulfilling and not really my thing. When we first started talking, Molly similarly agreed and was more looking for something serious, which I wasn't opposed to, but not exactly rushing into. Anyway, I arrive at around 4 a.m. and I'm told to be very quiet when I was invited inside, as she had housemates who had work the next day and didn't want to wake them. We go to her bed and after talking for a while start making out, grinding, etc. in her bed. I make a move to put my hand up her shirt before I ask if it's alright, and she says, "No, stop!" So obviously I stop and just keep going with what we were doing. After about 10 minutes of this, she then grabs my hand and puts it under her shirt and then starts saying, "No, stop!" again. I stop again and pull my hand out from under her shirt. She then proceeds to ask why I've stopped.
Oh my god.
I tell her it's because she told me to stop, and then she rolls her eyes at me. I ask if she wants me to keep going, and she tells me to stop talking about it and that it's weird, heavily implying that she wants me to keep going. So I carefully put my hand back under, and I asked if it was okay what I was doing. She said, "Stop asking/talking," and rolled her eyes, so I kept doing it. She tells me that she wants me to squeeze really hard. I do it. She reacts well, etc., but then starts saying, "No, stop!" again. I stop. She gets annoyed. But the situation continues like this for another 20 minutes of stopping and starting, and me feeling incredibly uncomfortable that she wouldn't just tell me that she wanted me to keep going when she was saying, "No, stop!" I picked up that she probably wanted me to, and I tried doing it with her saying it, but she would start reacting more and pulling away, and I would feel so incredibly uncomfortable, yet she'd still be annoyed if I stopped. After this 20 minutes, she all of a sudden says that she's 16. What? Oh.
Whoa!
Whoa. Okay. This took a twist. I hope you're in the right state. I obviously stop what I'm doing immediately and question her about this. She says that she's actually living with her parents and I had to be quiet not to wake them, and that she actually goes to the local high school just across the road, not the university just a few streets over. She spends about 5 minutes explaining all this, and all of a sudden she says that she's just joking, she's actually 19, and prompts me to continue. I don't believe her, and demand that she shows me her ID. After some protest, she shows me her passport, as I wasn't accepting any other university ID, and she was indeed 19. Anyway, she immediately, again, prompts me to continue, which I semi-annoyedly, but mostly with relief oblige. Everything continues as before, and I'm still not exactly comfortable. After another 20 minutes of this, she gets up and asks me if I want her to do anything to me. I said, yeah. Especially considering I've been going at it with her for the better part of an hour without anything from me. She asked if I wanted head. I said yes. She asked if I wanted to have intercourse, but she worded it weirdly, saying just the tip. It's kind of odd.
Do you want just the tip?
Anyway, I say I don't have any condoms. She doesn't have any condoms. She doesn't have any other birth control, so I say no, but she keeps asking me if I'm sure, just a little bit, etc., and I keep saying no. She tells me to close my eyes, and I'm here thinking she's about to give me head, and as I open my eyes, I'm horrified to see her on me. I pull out and push her off of me, telling her it's a bad idea. She then tells me she has a rule about having intercourse the first time we meet, and that now it has to be a one-night stand. Keep in mind how she had explicitly said she didn't want that, and she never told me this rule. I ask her why she didn't tell me, and she says it wouldn't be a challenge if I knew. Oh. This got interesting. Anyways, the whole thing just kind of annoyed me, so I started to get up and say that I'm leaving. As I'm doing this, she grabs onto me and starts hugging me. What? What?
No,
I should go.
Yeah.
I should go. As I'm doing this, she grabs onto me, starts hugging me, burying her head into my chest and begging me to stay. I tell her no, it's getting late, I want to go home, but she continues to hold me like I'm her boyfriend about to leave her or something. For another 15 minutes, this continues with me trying to leave and her not letting me. I eventually harshly push her off and just leave. I text her when I get home that she should probably take Plan B just in case, even though I didn't finish. It's still possible, and she's also ovulating, so danger zone. She says no. Oh. And then asks if I want her to tell me if she's pregnant, or as if the pregnancy is basically a certainty. She then messages me 3 days later in a panic about how she doesn't want to get pregnant and it'll ruin her life, so eventually I get her to take the Ella pill. TLDR, girl wants me to take her, does not communicate, it's kind of fucking with my head, then lies about her age, then decides never to see me again and has a pregnancy scare.
What the fuck happened? What the hell is this? I have no idea what to make of what you just what you just related. What the hell?
Anyway, edit 1. Just in case this wasn't clear on the 16-year-old front, she said she was 16 as a joke to try to freak me out, which worked. She was actually 19. I made her show me photo ID for proof, and it was her passport. It was legit. When she said she was 16, I stopped. Not because there'd be any legal consequences. Where I live, the age of consent is 16, but just because I think it's weird and don't want to be having sex or doing anything with a 16-year-old. Edit 2, some additional context to this, that she's an international student who spoke English fluently, but there were some heavy cultural differences, so in the back of my mind, I was always thinking it's just a cultural difference or something, but since the event, it's occurred to me that she may have been wanting to get pregnant so she could get citizenship. Oh! Brain blast!
It connects!
Oh...
That actually explains it. Oh shit. Oh, she was trying to get you.
That's I'm not sure on the terminology. That's a honey trap, correct? Is that what that is?
I think that counts. Yeah. Oh shit, man. Oh, you got out of it. Oh, you got that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, you made the right call. Oh fuck. That could have gone way worse.
That could have turned into an extra large fuck up.
It could have. It's just a large one.
That would have been a very unique extra large fuck up, not because someone died, but because someone was born.
But we're good. We're good. He got out of there.
Yeah.
Okay. Holy
Good
shit.
job with that.
Good job. Good job, OP. Good job. Fuck. Oh, wow.
Let's see here.
Fucking wild, man.
What? Oh, fuck. Oh, 1 second.
Oh, you good?
Yeah, sorry, just stuff. Anyway, here's one.
Am I the asshole for asking my sister to please not address me in dude speak?
Oh yeah, righteous, bro.
What
Let's
is
find
this?
out.
What is this fucking formatting? It's like literally every fucking sentence is a new line. What the hell?
Yeah, well, you know.
My sister's formatting. My sister's taken to adopting a very brain-dead stoner surfer dude way of speaking.
Oh yeah.
Okay, what's your age and gender? What's her age and gender? Where are you from?
Bro, you don't even know how to format a Reddit post, dude.
Instead of saying hello, she says sup. Goodbye is lates or later much. Things she doesn't like are harsh or a beat scene. Suspicious things are bogus or sketch. Unique things are spesh.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's special, bro.
Good things are sweet or radical or the tits. I especially don't like that one. Shaka bra, gnarly, tasty, rando, feroce, bitchin', tweaked. Some of the stuff I don't even know what it means.
Oh, it's just great.
I've asked her politely a few times to stop. Told her it really annoys me. She laughed and seemed to do it more. I finally said,
Based.
I finally said, if you can't talk to me using plain English, please just don't talk to me at all until you can. To which she replied, harsh, dude. Now we literally are not speaking. Am I the asshole for laying down a language boundary? Your sister's cool as fuck, dude. Fuck you.
Stop comment, bro. You're the asshole. Telling other people what they can or can't say isn't a boundary. That's a command. Sounds like she's following by your command and not talking to you. Doesn't seem like she's doing anything wrong.
Yeah, harsh, dude.
Yeah, harsh or mellow.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, this is straight bogus what you're doing.
Oh, dude, you freaking man.
Yeah, man.
Your sister sounds totally bodacious.
These are some rank vibes, man.
Oh yeah. Let's skedaddle on to this post.
God. Oh, that one's gonna stick with me for the rest of the day.
Oh yeah, that's funny, man. Let's see here.
Dude, your sister's fucking awesome. Like, fucking get over it.
Dude, can we have your sister on the podcast? Large Tifu time.
Oh,
Again.
okay. All right.
Today
We're getting a lot of those,
fucked
aren't we?
up. Well, I'm just browsing the page. I didn't have much saved. Today I fucked up by getting out Heimlich maneuvered by a giant man.
Getting out Heimlich maneuvered? What?
Yeah, professional Heimliching. You don't follow?
Look at how much I can choke on this egg.
No, it's about how much you can stop choking on the egg. Look at
No,
this
it's
guy.
how
He
much
doesn't
you
even know
can
about
stop someone else from
Look
choking
at
on
this
an egg.
guy. He doesn't even know about professional Heimliching. Some background. I was 23 when I was a total mess. I still am, but back then, my shit could not have been less together coming out of college. My mental health was a disaster. I could barely get out of bed, distance myself from anyone who cared, and with nothing to look forward to, I was contemplating permanent decisions.
Oh.
That's a poetic way to put that.
It is.
One day, on a whim, I decided to go to the bookstore because I had fond memories of reading used books as a kid, and I was just grasping at any straw of comfort from happier days. The moment I opened the door, I was met with a scene of total insanity.
There was a pretty girl in the corner, frozen with her jaw open and a book on the floor she must have just dropped. A panicked bookkeeper, who looked like he'd rather have been anywhere else in the whole world in that moment, in the center of the room with her, water clearly having just broken from a hyperventilating pregnant woman with no one within 3 feet of her.
Oh my god.
I could have closed the door and gotten the fuck out, but I caught the desperate, terrified look in her eye and knew I needed to do something. I rushed in, told the pretty girl to call a paramedic, told the shocked bookkeep to fetch a blanket and allow a pillow to make her comfortable, and sat down beside the lady. These are 2 separate women, by the way. Sat down beside the lady and talked through her and with her breathing, held her hand, kept her calm until the paramedics came to deliver the baby. Afterwards, the pretty girl struck up a conversation. She asked me if I'd ever been in that situation before because I'd seemed so calm. I told her I hadn't and hoped I wouldn't ever again, but I was glad things worked out and asked her about the book she'd picked back up. We went for a walk and hit it off. Pretty soon we were dating, and suddenly I had something to look forward to, and life started to feel full. 2 years later... Wow. Okay, this was all prologue, huh?
Yep.
Anyway, 2 years later, we were looking at places to move in together. Had silly nicknames and inside jokes and traditions that only we understood. Life wasn't perfect, but it felt pretty close to it any time we were together, and knowing she was my person gave my future the only certainty it needed. One thing that was a little strange, but I learned to dismiss, was that any time I met one of her friends, they always seemed to be familiar with the story of the way we'd met, except that in the version they'd been told, I actually delivered the baby myself before the paramedics got there.
Oh.
On a few occasions, when I tried to correct someone or a joke was made about me delivering another baby, my girlfriend would nudge me or change the subject, and when I confronted her about it, she would just say that did the details really matter if it made a better story? That most of the couples we knew were actually lying about how they'd met because it was through dating apps or it was unromantic, and besides, the only important part of the story was that it brought me into her life, and I figured, well, that all makes sense. Getting so much fucking reflux right now. A few weeks ago, we woke up together, and she made the face she always makes when she needs coffee to function, so I offered to go out and get some. She smiled, kissed me, and off I went. As I was waiting in line, I happened to turn around, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw a man who seemed to be shaking his table in a weird way alone over the window. Seemingly, no one else has noticed. I walked over thinking it might have been a seizure or something, but as I got closer, I could hear him. It seemed like he was actually choking. I reached into my pocket for my phone to call for help, but it wasn't there. I didn't want to waste any more time, so I rushed over to where he was struggling, pulled him out of the chair, and began to attempt what I thought was the Heimlich maneuver. I'd never actually done it before, and was basically just imitating what I'd seen on TV. I was doing it pretty hard, but I was afraid to do it much harder because it felt like if I might crack the guy's ribs. A minute must have passed, but it felt like an eternity. I was getting out of breath myself, and the guy was still choking, and I was getting really worried. By this point, the rest of the coffee shop had caught on and was watching me fail to save this guy's life. Suddenly, I felt a hand on my shoulder and glanced up to see this jacked football player-looking dude towering over me, who definitely hadn't been in the shop 2 minutes ago. Look, I'm 6'3", but very skinny. This guy must have been at least 6'6" and built like Jack Reacher. Anyway, he told me he knew what to do. I stepped aside, and within 20 seconds, the guy spat out whatever he was choking on, and we were all, myself included, clapping for the guy that had gotten it out of him. I was just happy the man was alright, but as I was walking out of the coffee shop, I saw my girlfriend standing by the doorway with this look of total shame and disgust on her face that will be permanently etched into my memory for the rest of my life, however long that might be. I guess she decided that she wanted a different coffee order than her usual, or a muffin or something, and realizing I'd left my phone in bed, decided to walk down to the coffee shop to tell me her order. I asked her how long she'd been standing there and if she'd seen everything, and she just said, "A little bit, yeah."
Oh.
She's usually very talkative, so this was a sign things were not at all good. In the chaos, I had forgotten to get her coffee, and I offered to go back and get whatever she wanted, but she said she wasn't in the mood for coffee anymore, and we walked back in awkward silence. Pretty soon after, she left for a girls' brunch that she hadn't mentioned before, and I didn't hear from her again the rest of the day. I decided to give her space, but sent her a picture of some wildflowers I knew she liked when I saw them out on a walk. She read, but did not reply. Then a few hours later, she dumped me over the phone and said it was because I didn't seem like the same guy she'd fallen in love with anymore. She came back... What a fucking
what the
bitch.
fuck? What?
After 2 years?
What?
After 2 years?
What?
After 2 years, the most significant thing in your relationship was that first incident? After 2 fucking years? What a shallow bitch!
Holy... What? I'm sorry I can't Heimlich correctly, dear.
Anyway, she came by to get her stuff and couldn't look me in the eye, which made me realize she hadn't looked me in the eye since that last morning in bed when she kissed me off to get the coffee. Anyway, it's kind of wrecked me. I didn't go to work for the next week and got fired. I have no idea how I'm going to make rent, and it feels like I'm back to where I was 2 years ago, except older, more tired, and even more empty for having felt what it was like to be whole. TLDR, sad life. Met a pretty girl at bookstore, taking charge of a situation with pregnant lady. Life happy with pretty girl. Go out to get coffee for pretty girl. Fail to do Heimlich right on choking man. Jack Reacher steps in, saves the day. Pretty girl saw the whole thing and leaves me.
Did she leave you for Jack Reacher?
Maybe, I don't know. I feel like Jack Reacher's probably getting enough pussy as it is. Yeah, no, that's
That's
I hope things work out for you, man.
That's pretty bad. Everything about that sucks. Oh no.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Also, fuck her. That's super fucking petty. Oh god. You forgot your phone, and when she caught up to you, she witnessed you getting out Heimlicked by someone else. And that was enough to... Oh, God. Why? Why are people like this?
How shallow do you have to be to not find any other reason to keep a relationship going after 2 years? I mean, if nothing else, I'm glad it happened then, so you didn't get more serious with this clearly very shallow person.
Well, he's clearly not the person that she fell in love with anymore.
I'm just glad she didn't waste more of your time.
Good God. I am beside myself with this. God.
That's impressive. Some kind of cloning technology?
No, it's astral projection.
Oh, I see.
Yep. Am I the asshole for arguing with my wife and refusing to fire the nanny? Oh dear, no. I am 30s. That's not how this works!
Please don't.
Live with my wife, F30s. We both...
Oh, what is she, a plane? You're not fighter jets, you're people.
We both work full-time.
Like
we both work full-time jobs and have 3 kids, ages 3, 6, and 7. Oh, but your kids get specific ages.
Your kids get specific ages, but not genders. Are they all? Are you saying they're all non-binary? I have to assume so.
I have to. I used to work from home with flexible hours, but I've been offered a promotion which requires me to go to work in person. The pay increase is really significant, so my wife and I agreed I should take the promotion and hire a part-time nanny for our kids.
Sure.
I got in touch with a nanny agency, and they matched us to someone who lives local. Sorry. They only told us her first name, which was a really common name anyway, but for the sake of storytelling, we'll say her name's Sarah. I spoke to Sarah on the phone, and she seemed really nice. We arranged a day for her to come over and meet my wife and the kids, and for us to show her around the house. When the day came around and we met her, it turned out that my wife already knew Sarah. It was really awkward. I wasn't sure how they knew each other until afterwards. My wife told me that back when she was in high school, her boyfriend at the time cheated on her with Sarah, who was in her class. Oh, God. Oh. Woman, you're in your 30s. She wasn't...
But she can't... Go on.
Yeah, I know. She wasn't enthusiastic about it, but my wife didn't seem to have a problem with Sarah being our nanny at first. Of course not. Our kids love her. She has lots of experience, and she's available when we need her. After a couple of weeks with pretty much no issues, my 2 oldest kids come to me and say that they don't want Sarah to come back. I ask why, and they said she's evil. Oh, God, no. I ask why they think she's evil, and our 6-year-old starts crying and says that Sarah is mean and wants to hurt Mommy. Oh, God, no!
Weaponize the children! Do it!
I talked to my wife in private, and at first she said she had no idea what the kids were talking about, and that it must be because of something Sarah did. When I pressed it, my wife admitted that she told the kids that Sarah is evil.
Weaponize the children!
She said
Weaponize the children.
she knows it was a ridiculous plan, but she was hoping I'd fire her.
I love this show.
She said my wife asked me to fire the nanny because their history makes her uncomfortable. I asked why it wasn't an issue before. My wife said she just needed to think about it, and she's decided Sarah has to go.
By any means necessary.
I told my wife that we can find another nanny, but until then there's no reason to get rid of Sarah, and that she was out of line for trying to weaponize the kids against her when Sarah is no danger to them. My wife disagreed and said that we need to just fire Sarah ASAP and hire a temporary babysitter until we can find another nanny. She said that she wasn't weaponizing the kids, she was just setting boundaries.
Okay, with today's Reddit posts in tow, I don't think any woman understands what boundaries means anymore.
That's another word that I'm putting up on the shelf that you're not allowed to use until you figure out what it means.
Yeah, nobody fucking knows what it means anymore.
God. This turned into a really heated argument, and I called my wife insecure and controlling and told her she needs to go to therapy. My wife said I'm being inconsiderate of her feelings and needs to put myself in her shoes. This was one of our biggest arguments in a very long time, and I just want a neutral opinion on whether I was wrong. See, Reddit says everyone sucks here, but... oh, no. Oh, God.
Okay, they're getting caught up on the fact that he doesn't want to fire her. Someone down below said, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. Everyone keeps giving OP the advice to replace the nanny, but he literally says, quote, I told my wife we can find another nanny, but until then, there's no reason to get rid of Sarah. He just doesn't want to have to do without childcare, which is entirely reasonable.
Yeah.
It's not like it takes months and months to find a new nanny if you're paying well enough.
Yeah. So, like...
Reddit's anti-cheater bias overrides logic quite often. Nuance doesn't exist on the internet.
Oh my god. No.
I do like this point he makes. Nuance doesn't exist on the internet. If it did, most posts would probably be everyone sucks here.
That's a good point. But no, OP, you are not the asshole, and you are trying to save the situation however you can. Your wife is super hung up on something that happened 15 plus years ago that should not even fucking matter anymore. She is being completely petty, inconsiderate, and is absolutely weaponizing your children against the nanny that she has a personal grudge against for something that happened.
And if she's going to manipulate her children
that
like that,
does not matter anymore.
If she's going to weaponize her children to emotionally manipulate you about this, what else is she going to do it for?
That's a very good point. So, like, your wife absolutely needs to go to therapy, and you were right for calling her out on that.
Yep. Yeah, not the asshole.
Not the asshole at all. Like, this is honestly, I think this is clear cut. Reddit's taking fucking crazy pills. Fucking god.
Yeah. Well, that wouldn't be the first time.
And it's not like there's like, oh god, Jesus, no, just, oh my god.
And it's also not the first time that we're engaging in the lightning round.
Ooh.
This is where we go to our unpopular opinion to find some unpopular opinions. Are these opinions popular or unpopular? Do we agree or disagree? Let's find out.
Ooh.
Unpopular opinion: kissing with tongue is actually gross.
Nah, can't relate. Can't relate.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's a you problem, OP.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion: most jobs can be taught with on-the-job training and shouldn't require a college degree.
That is true of a lot of jobs.
There are definitely highly specialized professions that do require extensive education, but yes, a lot of jobs should not require college that do, and it's mostly because employers don't want to take on the burden of actually having to train people.
Yeah. As
usual, as with most things, it's another fucking scheme for employers to save money.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see here. Unpopular opinion: all public buildings should be open on weekends. Again, another thing to save money.
Yep.
Let's see. Unpopular opinion: Katy Perry has had the worst natural fall off of any celebrity, from superstar to Uber Eats ads. I don't know. I mean, we've seen some insane drug spirals and shit. So I mean, compared to that,
Yeah. Just get a little... And if you want to see something real crazy, just look at Steven Seagal.
unpopular opinion: it is completely acceptable for Tears of the Kingdom and really all AAA games to be $70. I agree, but also I understand the reality of why people are upset about it, because money's tight.
Money's tight. Yeah.
But it's also just like, yes, realistically speaking, games are more expensive to make, but the price has stayed the same for like 20 years now. I understand this argument. But also, is our $10 extra going to the people who deserve it? The underpaid developers and actors and artists and everything? Is it going to them, or is it going to the CEO's pocket? Let's be real.
Yeah.
You know, I think people would be more comfortable with the idea of games becoming more expensive if the money was actually going to the people who deserved it. But by all accounts, that's a nebulous claim.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree there.
So, yeah. So, yeah, I agree, but it's complicated. Unpopular opinion: subtitles ruin comedies. They can.
Occasionally, they can.
I think you just need to have better, more creative subtitling, honestly.
Yeah, because like a lot of subtitling these days is like just there's a standardized format and it doesn't always work.
Yeah, you gotta. It can be fixed with appropriate timing.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's see here. Unpopular opinion: spectator sports are popular because they give men something to talk about. Yeah, boring men. They should play video games.
Let's give them something to talk about.
Unpopular opinion: graduation ceremonies are terrible. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree. It's literally showing up for the one or two fucking people you care about, and then you have to sit through everyone else's speeches and fucking aspirations. It's like, you don't fucking care about all these other people.
Yeah.
Like, even when I had my own graduation ceremony, which by the way was small because my graduating class was 8 people, so it was pretty concise. But even then, I was just like, everyone has to sit here. It's like, it's so inefficient. It's just an inefficient use of everyone's time. I'm not saying you can't have them. I feel like they should be done differently though, because as it is, it's a massive waste of everyone's time.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Unpopular opinion: couples shouldn't push each other to achieve more. Again, every relationship is different, and what everyone wants out of it is valid, but also you got to be compatible.
Yeah, that's highly situational. Some relationships have people where it's like they're comfortable where they are, but other relationships it's like you probably should like try to build each other up more. It's highly dependent on what you're comfortable with in terms of a relationship. It entirely depends.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion: being forced into sports can be traumatizing. Being forced into anything can be traumatizing.
Yeah.
You ever hear about kids that get forced into piano from like age 3?
Oh yeah. God, they're literally like anime with whole fucking subplots about that shit.
I know the one you're talking about, and let me tell you, it's the main plot.
Yep.
Yeah. Parents, don't force your kids into shit. It's simple. It's simple. I can't. What the fuck? Let me look at this. Okay, no, that one. No. Unpopular opinion: Ron Jeremy is not faking his dementia. I don't know what that drama's about, but that sounds interesting.
Ron Jeremy has dementia?
Ron Jeremy is accused of faking his dementia?
This is way beyond the scope of.
This is
the lightning
complicated.
round.
Let's go to a simpler one. Unpopular opinion: Pop-Tarts are disgusting. No, they're not. Fuck off.
No, they're not. I've literally been eating Pop-Tarts daily for the last 4 days. Fuck you. Fucking love Pop-Tarts.
Unpopular opinion: bare-chested females are no more nude than bare-chested males. I agree. More bare-chested females.
Yes, I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah. We're all in agreement here. It's a good thing. Anyway.
More titties, please.
Anyway. Unpopular opinion: cold or refrigerated Chinese food is good.
Depends on the place. Depends on the specific type of Chinese food. Some places actually taste really good the morning after. Others don't.
Yeah.
It's highly situational. Also depends on how you reheat it.
Unpopular opinion: weekends are overrated. It's better if your days off fall on weekdays. It can definitely be more convenient. I'll say that.
Yeah. There's less traffic if your days off are Monday, Tuesday, like mine are. If you're going anywhere and doing anything, yeah, I guess it's more convenient for sure. Because everything's closed on weekends as well. So if you need to like do business or whatever, it can be hard if your days off are on weekends. So yeah, I agree. But that situation's only possible because of that paradigm in the first place. So yeah. Really, the whole system just needs to be reworked, frankly.
It does.
Yeah. Let's see. Licking your finger for grip is a standard that needs to go extinct.
Remember, licking doorknobs is illegal on other planets.
I just lick someone else's finger instead and pay them to flip the pages for me. You're gonna go places. Keep up the great work.
This one's a pioneer.
Yep. Unpopular opinion: Pop-Tart edges are just as good as the middle. They have their own unique qualities.
They do. Ooh, especially toasted. Especially when they're toasted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unpopular opinion: the U.S. should adopt a high-speed rail system that connects the top 20 cities. Why not? Why stop there?
Why stop there? Connect everything. High-speed
More
rails all
trains!
the way.
More trains!
This is what we've been saying.
Yep. Unpopular opinion: tomatoes are disgusting. Thanks, Link. I'm a big fan.
Is that a tomato?
Unpopular opinion: if you think humans are the only intelligent life forms in the universe, that's idiotic. I agree. We better not be the best there is.
I mean, the fucking United States government shot down a UFO over Alaska. We might not be alone.
The unpopular opinion: early morning gaming is better than late night gaming. Depends. I hate movies, especially princess movies.
Stop watching princess movies.
But I must hate them. Movies longer than 3 hours can and should always be shortened. Someone has never seen Return of the King.
Watch Seven Samurai.
Giving unpopular opinion: giving children under the age of 12 sugary drinks is child abuse. If you only give them sugary drinks, maybe.
Yeah, but like an occasional sugary drink every now and then is not child abuse. It's just giving them a treat. Do you know what a treat is?
I don't even think of it like that. I think it's just mix it up. I guess.
Like it's. Why does everything have to be like a fucking black and white issue with people? Jesus. It's a fucking drink!
Nuanced listening system, the internet. I'm sorry to tell you that.
It's a child abuse! It's sugar!
Let's see here.
Unless I am feeding my child 16 Coca-Colas a day, it is not that big of a deal. Shut up!
Oh, wow. Okay. This guy's crazy. Let's go.
No. No,
Unpopular. No. This is an essay, and it's crazy.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna get my best nerd rage voice for this.
Cheating in video games should be illegal. I'll try to explain myself the best I can. I believe that cheating in video games, as well as creating and selling cheats online, should hold some form of criminal punishment. Cheating tends to often ruin games for people that just want to have fun and enjoy a video game, but it's also a huge waste of resources and money for developers. It is an often never-ending battle between cheaters and game developers. Developers can implement some form of anti-cheat, but unless that anti-cheat is invasive, which causes privacy issues, most of the time it either doesn't work, or cheaters manage to find ways around it, basically breaking through a security system. Developers literally need constantly fixing and maintaining their game to try to combat cheating, which most developers have all the money and resources to do, but oftentimes never try to. Selling cheats can be comparable to drug dealing. A teenager or child gets promised something that is said to change their performance. They steal their parents' credit card for it. They develop a high in the form of a massive ego as well as an addiction, which leads them to finding more cheats for other games and continuing the vicious cycle. It basically preys upon sad, vulnerable children looking for something to make them feel better, but it ends up destroying them and they become addicted to it. Now, I'm not very knowledgeable on how cheats actually work, but cheating is way too common.
All this,
really?
and they don't know how shit works.
It is way too easy to do. It just takes some form of coding knowledge as well as knowing how to exploit game code. Cheaters brute force their way into the game's code and manipulate it for their own use, which is basically stealing.
Oh my god.
And let's not forget that there have been cases where a brand new game comes out and a cheat client gets developed for it within a week or two. So cheaters are basically rushing to ruin something which took someone months or years to make, which just sounds so inappropriate to the point where it just sounds like something that should be illegal. Imagine you create a painting that gets put in a museum only for someone to intentionally steal it or spill paint on it within a week of it being up.
Oh my god.
I also have to mention that cheaters in some games are literally committing actual crimes like DDoSing or stealing IP addresses like in Black Ops 2 on console, where cheaters can just steal someone's IP address through a mod menu. Let's also not forget there are cheaters in Black Ops 2 on PC that are literally destroying people's computers and infecting them with dangerous malware, which is in fact illegal. That's illegal, you know. There's also the GTA 5 situation where people are getting DDoSed and harassed by cheaters. And I've also gotta bring up Team Fortress 2's bot situation. I really don't understand how running a bot network to invade and ruin a game isn't illegal, because that absolutely sounds like something that should be illegal. Team Fortress 2 is literally under attack by underground cheating rings that commit actual crimes that commit actual crimes behind closed doors, and these cheaters have made themselves difficult to find because of their abuse of VPN services.
This is equivalent to domestic terrorism!
TLDR, cheaters get away with cheating too easily. Some cheaters are even committing actual crimes behind closed doors and not getting punished. They waste developer resources and money. They're disruptive and go out of their way to ruin people's lives. They're stealing and exploiting someone's work, and basically like online drug dealing. Developers aren't willing to take the time and effort to combat cheating because they can dodge security systems and avoid bans by making new accounts. They are not taken seriously enough. Cheaters are generally awful people that harass and bully others online for their own enjoyment. There's no proper deterrent for most cheaters, so by making it illegal, it might deter people from attempting to cheat in games. There's no deterrent, so there's no effective deterrent, so let's add another deterrent.
Nerd!
Comparable to drug dealing? You are delusional.
What
would the punishment even be?
I sentence you to 30 hours of gamer community service. Fucking, what the hell is this? What are you in for? I cheated in Call of Duty. I am imagining a world where OP has created laws, and this shit is... It is...
This guy, I'm looking at the comments, this is one of those people that seems to think that if you make it illegal, it'll just stop happening.
It'll just go away. Yeah. No, dumb fuck. No. That's just gonna make people want to do it more. You stupid bitch.
I don't know about that, but no, you're dumb.
Oh my god.
But you know who's not dumb? You, the listener, for choosing to spend time with us, the Bakagaijinites. So thanks for that. And you can find more episodes here, and there will be even more in the coming weeks. So subscribe and tap the bell or whatever. And if you want to be part of the show, you can send us an email at bakagaijinshow@gmail.com or join our official Discord server in the links provided below. And if you want even fucking more of us, you just can't get enough. We're like cheats. We're addictive. You can follow us on Twitter at ZekeFreak, at CCharmanderK, and at Seradin Sedranor. Stay classy, everyone. Don't
Don't cheat in a video game.
Stay
or
in
we will kill
school.
you.
Don't do drugs. Don't cheat in video games, or you get the get the chair.
Yep, exactly. Stay out of school. Keep doing drugs. Cheat in video games. Yep, that's exactly all those things. Anyway, see you next time. Zeke freak out. Ciao ciao for now.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. I got all this potential that's deep inside of me, but they hate when you're successful cause they try to be. They sit there being judgmental because you're trying things, and they just want you to settle and do the right thing. So get a good job, don't slack off. Wake up every morning, make a good impression on your boss. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, and when you're making money, make sure you don't spend it too soon. Fuck that, I'll do what I wanna do. I got a different path from everyone, and that includes